friend, where are you? Found you hiding here in the near clear blue.
He's been cited by IGN, The Quartering, Timcast, The Daily Wire, Bounding into Comics, and even Dr. Jordan B. Peterson.
What?
Hey, the Pro Show is on!
Awesome! Let's turn it on.
Guys? Where'd you go?
Morty, let's check in on Ryan Johnson's new trilogy.
Okay. I bypassed the compressor.
What did you do, Ray?
Son of a... That's gonna leave a mark.
Now, he was okay, after 6-7 weeks. Okay? They get over it. Kids are resilient like that.
Yeah.
I hate it.
It's the standard, what would George do?
I don't want you here.
So sorry, George. I didn't think it would go like this.
Fly, you fools!
I've fallen, and I can't get up.
Weird.
Stay away from liquor, kids.
I have always liked Cowabunga.
Now that's more like it, Mr. Wayne.
It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward.
The Force will be with you. Always.
That's how winning is done.
I am vengeance. I am the night.
That's what she said.
I am Batman.
If I won tonight, I would come home and we'd celebrate. Well, I'm coming home, we're celebrating. God bless you all.
Watch your habits, for they become your character. And watch your character, for it becomes your destiny. What we think, we become.
It's scooping time.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, in just 2 minutes, the lighting at the Magic Kingdom will dim for the performance of the Pro Show. We hope you enjoy and have a magical, truthful time. For the safety of others, please, no flash photography. And welcome to Provision 3D.
All right, everyone, put on your opera glasses. Oh boy, Chop those now. I'm so excited.
Keep learning, keep growing, and keep having fun.
To all who come to this happy place, welcome.
You know that you've been taught the golden rule, do unto others as you'd have them do unto you.
Yes, Paul.
Autobots, roll out!
I'm bringing the party to you.
If somebody's gonna try to blackmail me with advertising, blackmail me with money?
Fortune and glory, kid. Fortune and glory.
Chicken jockey!
All right, it's time to go to school, son. Come on, get your hands up, man!
Are you okay?
They'll never take our freedom!
I grew up through wars, poverty, and my life's falling apart. But Wilton's life, well, he's never really lived. He needs legs.
Hi, Wilton the Troll doesn't have any legs, and I feel so bad for him. I'm really excited to help. I'm emptying my piggy bank and giving all my birthday money so he can get better.
Wilton is precious.
He said I remind him of his mom.
I really like Wilton the Troll, so I'm gonna empty my piggy bank and my education account to help him. Wilton needs legs more than I need college right now.
I'm honestly just sad for Wilton. He was born with no legs. And me, I got this wheelchair.
I've dealt with my own challenges, so when I heard about him, I knew I had to step up.
Wilton told me he could help me with my computer because I remind him of his mom. But then I did something wrong and it completely broke my computer, so I'm emptying my savings account to help him instead.
Wilton, you're my favorite troll now.
I'm donating because Wilton deserves to feel like he's not alone.
He needs our help.
He's gonna be so happy.
He also told me I was pretty. And I like that too.
May the 4th be with you.
Very good. Okay, well, let's do that again.
Okay, we'll go together. 1, 2, 3.
Okay. May the 4th be with you. Excellent. Not bad.
And ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another fun-filled night of excellence. We have a panel that is geared up and ready to go, and wouldn't you know it, ladies and gents, boys and girls, it didn't take long from last night's story that we brought to you for Nielsen to seemingly confirm a whole bunch of it. We'll dive into that in just a few, but Marv, my oh my, the things we've been covering. Talk to the folks out there, the whirlwind that we've had today, and you got what? 4, 5, 6 million views on that Geeks and Gamers story today?
Last time I looked, it was at 5.6 million on our Geeks and Gamers article about your scoop on what's going on. If I check it real quick again, I haven't checked it in a few hours. It is currently at 8.3 million
8.3
views.
So wow. I think we've made an impact. Is that fair to say?
A little bit. I mean, Tyrone Magnus, covered your article about it on that Park Place. We've seen a lot of people really embracing this story.
So I want to thank the team here. I want to thank Marv for covering this. I want to thank Lorne for helping us understand it in ways that I simply could not have. He's far more knowledgeable when it comes to everything Star Wars. And hopefully, folks, this is the kind of thing that gets Disney's attention, because not only are we trying to bring that scoop out accurately? And boy, what a show we had last night. And we've got another show tonight just like it. Not only did we have that story, and we want to be accurate. We want to get this right. But if people are this excited when they see sequel trilogy getting kicked out of there, I mean, millions of people are clicking this, and so few are trying to rain on the parade of it. So many are agreeing with, yes, please. That's got to get Disney's attention. Lauren, what are your thoughts there?
Well, I actually had some private debates behind the scenes today with a number of people going a little deeper onto why I think this is what they have to do. And so far, I haven't really heard any pushback on the theory. And I think another thing that underscores, I think, how truly fearful that Disney and Lucasfilm are right now is that this is May the 4th. And yet there have been no major drops today.
None.
I expected to at least get 1 or 2 series trailers. There were a couple of minor Mandalorian trailer drops, but outside of that, it's been very, very quiet. They are not acting like they have confidence right now.
We all, I think, thought that at least we would get Ahsoka Season 2 trailer.
Yeah.
Nothing. Just nothing.
That's how worried they are about stepping on the Mandalorian and Grogu. They already know the numbers are bad, and they're worried that something's going to make it even worse.
That's right. Well, Dani, it is so good to have you here for the first time on the Pro Show, getting ready to go into all of this. And Dani, I was telling you before we started the show, I wonder, has Disney told Nielsen to release what they released today? We'll talk about that. But Dani, it's a pleasure to have you aboard, and I want folks to know and go over to your YouTube channel and subscribe today. It's Comics and Everything. You're on the path to 20K subscribers and rocking it every single day. But that's not all. Dani, also, look at this, funmycomic.com, Veiled Legacy. A rural Midwestern family's act of kindness leads to an unnatural home invasion, leaving twins to survive the night separately and alone.
Pro, if I can, I've read it. I have actually read the script for Veiled Legacy, and it's terrifying, and it's wonderful, and I love it.
Oh, it's good that you added that second part. I mean, I was worried for a moment. I think Dani was too. She thought, "Oh no, what have I stepped into?"
Well, that's actually how I like, because Dani is my good friend, and that's how I actually describe her too. She's terrifying and wonderful, and I love her.
Well, Dani, welcome to the show. Tell the folks out there what it is that you're working on here.
Well, Veiled Legacy is actually, in short, it's just my life's ambition. It is adapted from a novel I wrote 22 years ago. It was always intended to be a graphic novel, but I was a mom. I had 4 kids, and I became a single mother. And of course, that was my priority. Happily so. I mean, it's not like it's something that I was, oh, shucks, I was happy to do that, happy to raise my kids. But of course, they were the priority. So took care of my kids, did my job. They've all survived. Yay. They're,
Good job.
grown now. Thank you. Thank you very much. Believe it or not, they're all grown now. My oldest is 26. My youngest is getting ready to turn 18. She's the last one in the house. And I've been doing YouTube about 6 years now. I just so happened to meet the right people. And I have a wonderful husband. This was all pretty much his idea. He's like, I think you have the time and the means now to sit and do what you're meant to do and pursue this ambition of yours. And so I did. And it's a very personal story. The main character has a weaponized prosthetic leg with a stake launcher, iron spikes, and a toe knife. She's a superhero vampire hunter.
And a heck of a soccer player.
She's an amazing soccer player. Seriously. I myself am an amputee, which is where I got the idea. And I feel so bad for your troll friend. Like, I have some spare legs just laying around. They're just
hold on to your spare legs, dude. He doesn't deserve them.
Don't encourage you.
Okay.
For those who don't know, Wilton will be getting a tiny pair of legs finally this Friday night. But
Who cares?
A real charity is on the way, and I was sharing with Steve what the charity is. We'll be making the announcement. Oh, I guess we're making that announcement tonight. Okay, well, later in the show, we'll make the announcement. I forgot it is the night that we're supposed to announce what that charity is going to be. So there you go.
Oh, the charity, yes.
The real charity. The real charity. It's,
Well, I'm also a special effects artist, so I'm happy to make Wilton a little pair of troll legs if need be.
Could you littler the better?
Put your creative energies where it matters, please. Don't put it on.
Oh, absolutely. I'm currently working on finishing up book 2 of Veiled Legacy, which is called The Gospel of Layla Fellows, which introduces my favorite character of the series, Layla Fellows. But I'm incredibly proud of the work we have here. It's edited by Rippaverse alum Caro Brown, who is spectacular in literally everything she does.
The best.
She's amazing. And the artist is Rippaverse artist Evan Scale. And
awesome.
This guy is absolutely incredible. I got a new page from him on Free Comic Book Day. And I was like, this is the greatest day ever. It's Free Comic Book Day and I get a new page.
I mean,
the best collaborators.
So I have ordered this. I got the $50 one, but there are options on here as low as $10 for the digital version of the book. So guys, definitely get it. 2 words: Amish vampires.
Oh yeah.
And like if that's not an elevator pitch for you, I don't know what is.
All right. Well, fantastic stuff. Dani, in addition to pitching this to the crowd out there, can I give you the chance of a lifetime? Could I give you what you've been waiting for, what your husband is going to say? You finally made it. Dani, could you say, please, the following line?
Okay.
Release the shills.
Release the shills.
At least that's what I hear.
Wait, what?
Let's go!
Jabba, right?
Oh no!
Sarlacc!
Star Wars Outlaws pre-order available now.
Guys, this is
one of, if not my most anticipated game of the year. Anything that's got me going pew, 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 you know, sign me up.
I gotta say, the concept of this is enough for me to go, I might even pre-order this.
You know, I go to Burger King one time, man. I get the Mandalorian and Grogu meal one time to celebrate, and you run the Shills clip in order to introduce. I see how it is. I got some crowns for Star Wars today, and I'm labeled the shill of the show. Well, this is unbelievable, and I'm offended. That
hit me. How much he's paid for all of these backdrops?
I don't pay
Listen,
nothing.
I was a patsy.
I
was an unwitting patsy.
He wants in the premiere. He's like Star Wars Explained. He's waiting for the call. Hey, Wiz, how many hats are you wearing right now?
I'm a man. I'm a wizard of many hats. I have 3 odd right now.
He's wearing enough, Pro. The answer is enough.
I got the. I don't know if I'm going the right way, but I got the Grogu one, and I got the Mandalorian one, and this is actually really not good. I can report back the Burger King Mandalorian meal is not good. It is everything with a chemical garlic flavor. It is not very good. The box is huge. The cup that you get, the little collectible cup, is super flimsy dollar store plastic. It's not good.
What comes in the meal? What do we get? We get a Whopper?
It's a Whopper with chemical garlic on it. It's cheesy tots with chemical garlic flavor, and it's chicken fries with chemical garlic mixed with a little cup of chemical garlic sauce. It's really not.
Stop hurting me. Stop hurting me. I'm already dead. You can't hurt me anymore.
It's awful.
I like chemical garlic sauce. I'm Italian.
You serious, Clark?
I think I finally proven to you, Marv. I think I finally proven to you that I'm not Italian.
You have proven it, yeah.
Okay.
Andy.
We've got the full panel. Andy is back with us after a phenomenal show last night, and we've got a follow-up today. We've got over 500 of you joining us right now, and my, oh my, what a show. And it turns out that within hours, we got confirmation on a bunch of this stuff. And so that's phenomenal. We're going to talk about whether or not Disney actually made the call to put down the sequel trilogy. Oh, look at him. Look at the little guy up there. Little merchandise drop. Cute little merchandise drop.
That little guy, though, they know who they're marketing that little guy towards. They know that audience. I mean, from season 3 on, total just garbage. But gosh darn it, that little guy's so cute. I just want to give him a hug.
He just wants to eat a Whopper with Lizzo. He just wants to eat a Whopper with Lizzo.
And the Babu Fricks. The Babu Fricks are so cute too.
And the Babu Fricks, absolutely. But anyone that wants Grogu merchandise has it already.
Yeah, that's true.
Right.
That's absolutely true. Yeah.
Anybody who wants super chats, though, they know where to go. Right here. Juliet for 2, morning, WDW Pro Panel and Pro Rights. And good morning to you, Juliet, mod extraordinaire, if you dare. Last call with Troy Pacelli, member for 23 months, almost 2 years. That's right, a birthday on the way come June. We've got last call again for 10. Thank you, last call with Troy Pacelli. I'm sorry I'm late. Is Dani intentionally channeling Gina, or is it just a coincidence?
Oh, wow, what a compliment.
I really appreciate seeing you at MegaCon and High Pro.
I'm flabbergasted. That is, thank you. I do not deserve such a compliment. Thank you.
What a compliment that was, Dani. And yes, Troy, we loved meeting you at MegaCon, man. That was great. One of the highlights for us was meeting you, man. So thank you very much. Dani was at MegaCon too. That's where Dani and I met in person for the first time.
Yeah.
Did Troy come by the booth when you guys were signing?
He did.
Oh, fantastic. Fantastic stuff. We've got Patrick Genoway out there for 10 WDW Pro memberships. Thank you so much. Very kind.
Please, sir, may I have more Pro memberships?
What?
God bless us, everyone!
I love how you do the Oliver thing with the please, sir, I want some more. And then you close it. But then you close it with God Bless Us Everyone from Christmas Carol. It's two completely different stories.
And soon, if we can get everything done and not get banned from YouTube for doing so, we'll have Chuck Norris drop in on that little orphanage and take care of things. J-Stack is out there for
Roundhouse and orphans.
Never let a roundhouse kick in there.
That's how they all became orphans.
Yikes.
For $4.99, Blake Lively just settled her case. Well,
She did.
yeah, Ron Coleman called it. We had Ron Coleman on, I think, 2 weeks ago on the channel, and he said her attorneys have got to be screaming at her, settle, settle, settle. We'll have Schwartz on tonight talking about that because of the way it's being handled by the mainstream, lamestream, going extinct dinosaur media. They're desperate for you to believe a different narrative. We won't allow it. J-Train 5647 became a YouTube member. Welcome aboard. Choo-choo. And Butterbiscuit 92 for 2. Stop. I want to throw up.
It's because of all that popcorn you were eating during Culture Crossfire.
Oh, no.
Continue. It's continuity, guys.
Continuity, I tell you. Woofle for 504. The Crime Dog says Star Wars Day is my mom's birthday. So I used her credit card for this super chat. Just
there you go.
kidding. You know what? Happy birthday to Mrs. Woofle McGruffle.
Happy birthday!
Lorne.
If he did use her credit card, he really is the crime dog.
You mean the Crime Dog house, let me tell you. All right, folks, the turnabout here is amazing. I cannot wait to talk about this one because yesterday we came out right before May the 4th, and I said we have to do this on the Sunday night. We cannot wait because we can't be late to this. And sure enough, we were just on time because today Nielsen has released the data. They have shamed the sequel trilogy. Those who proclaim The Acolyte was trending on Disney Plus, they must be deeply embarrassed. We know the truth. We know the facts. And the question we're going to ask as we dive into this very first segment of the show, did Disney make the call to Nielsen to go ahead and put this out there? Is this a narrative shift from the House of Mouse? We'll explain why that might be right now. Well, we boldly told you that the sequel trilogy was going to be spun off probably from the rest of the timeline of Star Wars because the suits, the execs at the House of Mouse have said, hey, Filoni, we don't care what you do, allegedly, just get rid of it so we can move on and make money again. Well, guess what? The very next day, look what's on the way. First of all, Geeks and Gamers covering the rumor that we put out there. And again, take it with a grain of salt, ladies and gentlemen. The quote here says, if true, this would be one of the most dramatic franchise shifts in modern Hollywood history.
A phenomenally written sentence by a great writer.
That's right. And 7.6 million views. Actually, Marv, it's higher than that. I don't want to hit the refresh, but what's it?
Yeah, it's last I saw it was, what did I say, 8.6? Something like that, 8.4?
Like that. So millions and millions and millions. And this is the first time I've ever wanted a community note. Have you seen the proposed community note, Marv?
No, what is it that the Rey movie is actually happening?
Okay, check this out. Note is needed because we're that Park Place. Here it is. This is the one I want. Despite the rumor, there is still a movie set after the sequel trilogy in development starring Daisy Ridley.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, you know, there's still a trilogy coming from Rian Johnson too.
Please, I want that community note so badly. All right, what has Disney done though? What happened today? Well, from El Carbo. Says this speaks for itself, doesn't it? The sequel trilogy is Jaws 4's level of dead in the public imagination. This is, ladies and gentlemen, from Nielsen. You can see here, well, you might not be able to see it's teeny weeny, itsy bitsy, but it says source Nielsen streaming content ratings based on total minutes viewed among persons 2 years and older. All right, let's get this out of the way. Andor, the second season released in this last year, and it has 9 hours of content. All of the movies that you see have about 2 hours of content. So if we're basing this based on minutes watched, Andor would likely still not be number one if we were just going on, hey, what'd you watch? But because there's so much content for Andor, it's at number one based on the way that they're calculating this. Fine, we don't care. When it comes to the movies, what's number one? Star Wars: A New Hope. What's number two? Surprisingly, maybe Star Wars: The Phantom Menace. But probably because people want to go back and watch the prequels and they start with that one.
Yep.
Number three, Star Wars: The Empire Strikes Back. Number four, Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah.
Number five, this one is surprising to me, Attack of the Clones. I would have thought Return of the Jedi would have beat it. Return of the Jedi comes in the next place. And then the only other film on here, Rogue One, A Star Wars Story. In the top 10, not a single sequel trilogy movie, despite being modern Disney Star Wars. But even worse than that, no Mandalorian. The series that put Disney Plus on the map, the series that got them their very first #1, defeated The Office to become the #1 streaming show on television. Take that, friends. Mandalorian has fallen so badly that it's not even in the top 10. Boba Fett? No way. Obi-Wan? Nuh-uh. And the darn acolyte that we've heard, it's trending, it's #1. No, and it never was. Lauren?
I just wanted to point out one thing for clarification. This was on May 4th, 2025, so it's a year ago. Andor had just released the week before. So that's another reason why it's up there in that top 10.
Yeah, that's why Tales from the Underworld is on there too, because it had just released as well.
That's a good point.
But yeah, but it's still, it's, nobody's watching the sequel trilogy. No one's watching The Acolyte. When they actually listed all the shows that people were watching, as we highlighted on the geeksandgamers.com article, like Skeleton Crew and The Mandalorian were discussed, not in like the top 10, but they were saying like they did chart. The Acolyte and the sequel trilogy are not mentioned once in the Variety article.
Now, this is landing in the mainstream. Fox News is covering this. Okay, so it's landed into the normie space. Fox News reports new streaming data paints shockingly grim picture for Disney's awful Star Wars sequels. The Force Awakens, Last Jedi, and The Rise of Skywalker all failed to crack the top 10 most streamed Star Wars films last May 4th. Now, folks, why are we going through all of this with you? Because, well, isn't it interesting? Isn't it strange? Don't we find it bizarre that the very first time Kathleen Kennedy is gone for a May the 4th, suddenly Nielsen has the data. Suddenly Nielsen puts this out. Suddenly Nielsen embarrasses the sequel trilogy and everything that Kathleen Kennedy was about. And I wonder, did Disney want this out into the public? Because Nielsen hasn't done this ever before. Did Disney want this to start the shift of the narrative?
I believe so.
I do too.
Yeah, because the Variety article's point is it never mentions the sequel trilogy. It's not, the point of the article is not look how bad Star Wars is doing. The point is look how good Star Wars is doing, because it's saying Star Wars was streamed for 33 billion minutes. That is the main idea of Variety's article. So they're like, look, people are still watching Star Wars. Here's the proof. And then you look at the things they're actually watching, and it's proof that they are not actually watching Disney Star Wars, except for things like Rogue One.
Right. And here's the thing. You have people online debating whether or not the sequel trilogy is really popular. I every day I see people saying, actually, The Last Jedi is the best Star Wars movie that was ever made. And I think, well, that's why there's another trilogy on the way from Rian Johnson any day now, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right on the corner.
Any day.
The Acolyte it's trending on Disney Plus. It's in the top 10. And somebody had to tell the truth about this, but it's not popular to do so. Disney would have not liked this years ago. Nielsen did it. Nielsen finally came out. Wiz, I know that you are sometimes skeptical of these sorts of things. What do you think about the idea that Disney decided it's time, Nielsen, go ahead and release it, and let's reset the conversation here?
Well, I think it's something that that Marv and Lauren and I have spoken about, and we'll continue speaking about now. The money people are calling the shots now. That's the only way forward. We actually just saw in real time right now, we just finished the Maul Shadow Lord show. It was an unsatisfying conclusion. We have Mandalorian and Grogu on the horizon. That's not shaping up to be a moneymaker. The story and context there, we don't fully know, but it's not going to be a moneymaker, which means that this team, whether Kathy Kennedy's involved or not, this team is incapable of making good Star Wars, to the point where now the only possibility is that some kind of money people or leadership, or maybe it is Josh tomorrow, somebody is coming in and saying things need to change regardless of what direction. Something's got to give. And so whether it is Disney or not, I don't care. Nielsen and whoever gave them the thumbs up to release this information is trying to force Disney to make a move, or trying to force Lucasfilm to make a move.
I think it's also, psychological. They released it on May the 4th. They released it after Kathleen's gone to kind of, we'll show the fandom or the audience, like, see, we blame Kathleen too. We're on your side.
Mm-hmm.
In an attempt to try and win back some of our trust without really having to do anything just yet.
For those who they've been consuming nothing but the sequel trilogy is very popular. It's an outspoken minority that don't like it.
Mm-hmm.
The Disney Plus shows are actually super duper well received. The Acolyte was robbed of a season 2. I wonder how they're handling this at all, to find out from Nielsen, which is that's the industry standard, that they believe the inverse of the truth, that people are actually watching the originals and the prequels, and that's just about it. That's just about it.
I wonder if Nielsen is going to get any threats, or
I'm sure they will.
Telling them they should delete themselves for not putting Acolyte in the top 10.
Probably, because it's Nielsen's fault. Pro, one thing to point out, Kathy has always said that, there are more Star Wars stories ahead of us than there are behind us. And they always said that it's, the sequel trilogies are for the young generation, the Gen Alphas, the Gen Zs. If you pull up that Geeks and Gamers article again, there is a very telling graphic in there, specifically about not this one, the one that I put in the private chat about this specific thing with the ratings, because there is a graphic that actually breaks down the most watched thing by generation, and I think it's fascinating as to what here it is. If you scroll down a bit, you'll see it. It's so that's just what kind of content. That's the top 10 right here. Gen Alpha, The Mandalorian. Gen Z, Clone Wars. Millennials and Gen X, Andor, and Baby Boomers, The Mandalorian.
I've seen this earlier today, and I've really got to think about it, because I don't know. Okay, here's one of the things about it. I actually tweeted about this. Do titles include movies, or are titles just shows?
I think it's just because of the number of episodes, maybe. I'm not 100% sure, but it might just be shows. But in which case, no Acolyte, no Skeleton Crew, and if it's involving movies, you're looking at, they're watching these shows, they're not watching the sequel trilogy.
This is another strike, of course, on the Acolyte, and all those people who actually believe that it was trending again. It's number 10, it's number 9, and it was no such thing. Disney just makes this kind of stuff up.
And we talk about The Mandalorian and how disappointed we are with it currently, but remember, there were 2 very solid seasons of that show that people did actually like.
There were great seasons, and then they jettisoned it all to fire Gina and to make sure that Luke was not involved in the next season and all that sort of stuff. Lauren, we're going through so much of this, and I know you have much to say. Lauren, what are your thoughts on, within, honestly, 12 hours of the report that we put out there, viewed by millions, within 12 hours, Nielsen was going ahead and saying, sequel trilogy is dead. Nope, nobody's watching it. Nobody cares.
The most interesting thing to me about today is that it's May the 4th and no major announcements have been made.
Mm-hmm.
They have dropped, I think, 3 short little pseudo trailers for The Mandalorian and Grogu. There's been some talk about getting influencers in to watch the first 20 minutes.
Don't forget the chemical garlic, Lauren. I mean, Wizard loves the chemical garlic burger.
No, I didn't. I don't. Yeah.
Go ahead.
To Lauren's point. We got clips and Burger King. That's it. That's all we got for May the 4th.
They also re-released a trailer to give the announced release date of Galactic Racers. This is not what I expected out of today. They are not acting like a company that has confidence. And I've been saying for a while that I have believed that they have been making a pivot internally, that for the last year they have been evaluating and trying to determine how to move forward. My personal belief is that they were finally panicked, but I didn't think they were this panicked. Today would have been the day to make some kind of an announcement of something. And they haven't.
Lauren,
that's not a good sign.
I'm not suggesting this happened, but would it not be funny if Lucasfilm peeps woke up this morning, they had an Ahsoka season 2 trailer? Again, I'm not saying this happened, but wouldn't it be funny if there was an Ahsoka season 2 trailer and it was going to be all about the world between worlds, change is coming. And then they saw what we had done and they said, well, shoot. Now.
Abort.
I'm kind of curious to see. They've got to start announcing something sometime soon. So part of me feels like what they're worried about right now is they already know that The Mandalorian and Grogu pre-sale numbers are bad. The buzz around the movie isn't good despite their marketing efforts. I think they're worried about stepping on themselves here, so that's maybe why they're being quiet today. After The Mandalorian and Grogu comes into and leaves the theaters, do they remain quiet, or how do they try and build buzz? Are they going to eventually drop something regarding Starfighter? I don't know, but it's interesting. I thought at least today we'd get some gaming announcements. And
I thought we'd get an Ahsoka season 2 release date.
I figured that was one thing. I was pretty sure we were going to get a Jedi, the conclusion of the trilogy announcement. I sort of thought we might hear something about Fate of the Old Republic as well, even though it's early in development. It's like, this is the day, and yet crickets. So to me, this is really underscoring something is definitely going on. And I think right now, a lot of people, I think, are probably in a bit of a cold sweat.
And I totally forgot about Starfighter. Like, you'd think we would have at least gotten something about Starfighter. We haven't heard anything about that movie in months now.
Is it in production yet?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
it's already done. I think it's done, yeah.
Yeah.
I wasn't wrong. I thought that we would get a Ryan Gosling clip today where he would say, hey, we've wrapped up production on Starfighter. It's a great movie. Can't wait to bring it out to you next year. Blah, blah, blah. Like, I thought we would get stuff like that all day long with a drip, drip, drip all day long. We got nothing.
One other thing to point out here, this is Dave Filoni's first Star Wars day as the head of Lucasfilm. You would have thought they would have thrown a ticker tape parade about all the exciting new things that they have cooking up, man. It has never been more exciting to be a Star Wars fan. We've got so much great stuff cooking, and it all kicks off with The Mandalorian and Grogu later this month. None of it.
You are so right.
I always am.
I think the box office tracking must be worse than what we're hearing. That's what I'm starting to wonder. So you got Variety and the Hollywood Reporter saying it's going to make 80 million on the 4 day, probably 60 million on the 3. That's really bad. They're acting like it's worse. And I wonder, do they already have the signs that say, oh no, oh no?
Well, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm wondering how much the Matt Maloney story shook them, because that was their target audience telling them, we don't care about the Mandalorian.
Yep.
That's not the story they want coming out. And that bomb dropped. I think that they have a media story right now that they can't spin. I don't think they have any way to counter it. They're in a real pickle. It's everything that we've talked about. All of their options are bad. None of them are good. And
whoa! Andy is waiting on that Ray movie to be announced. That they've got the script and they've got Charmene ready to go. Daisy's happy about it. Come on, Andy. We're going to get a community note anytime about that, right? Right?
Oh, I'm with bated breath. I'm waiting.
Andy, what is the thing you've sent me in the back? Should I put that on screen? Do you want me to put that on screen?
Yeah, Hot Toys has gone crazy with a whole bunch of releases for Star Wars for May the 4th. But oddly enough, there's nothing that has to do with Ahsoka or we've got the Ahsoka from the Clone Wars. You got two versions.
Which is making people angry. It's making some folks angry online. You heard about that, right?
Yeah, last year they put out a bunch of what's the Mandalorian Jedi girl from Rebels. They put out an action figure for her.
Sabine.
Yes, thank you. They put out now in the last week. We've gotten 2 Qui-Gons, another Anakin, an Ahsoka, a Yoda, Commander Gree. It's all prequel and all classic figures that have come out. Now this is going towards your hardcore fan base collector. These things they're well over $300 a piece. You're going to have an artisan Qui-Gon Jinn that's probably going to be over $400 that will probably sell out very quickly. So these are figures that. These are for collectors that are deep in Star Wars lore. They want to have a representation of things that they love on the shelf. So there's still a market there because you see people buying a lot of these and they hold their value. So although it's kind of changing a little bit because like the quality level is going up so much. but it shows that there is a market here for people that want good Star Wars. They still want something, and they're just waiting for something to come along that's going to be good. There's a market there, but they just can't seem to get out of their own way and realize what's right in their face of what is good Star Wars.
I keep making this point ad nauseum. I keep saying those AI videos on YouTube, people love them and they get amazing views, and the people that just react to them get amazing views.
Yes.
These are fan created stories, and as Lauren said on Culture Crossfire tonight, some of them aren't the greatest story. Like it is very, like pedestrian kind of storytelling, but people can sense the passion in it and the love for the franchise, and a lot of it is stuff that we always wish we could have seen. Heck, some of it has Ahsoka in it. There's a 4-parter, which is Luke and Ahsoka traveling the galaxy after Return of the Jedi, and it's awesome.
There you go.
Would have been
Lauren,
nice.
I'll give you, Wiz, if you guys want to have the final word and weigh in on this. May the 4th, kind of a dud this year. It comes 2 days ahead of Disney's next big earnings call. No fanfare whatsoever. Not even really anything out of Fortnite. I don't know. I kind of feel badly for them at this point. Maybe.
To be fair, the last time they tried to do something with Fortnite, they had Palpatine's return announced there. It's like there are not geniuses working in their department trying to figure out how should we position these movies. I think that may be part of why that may be part of why they're staying quiet today.
No, the last time they did something with Fortnite, they had Vader AI that you could talk to, and then he started saying some very not so nice things because the players were getting him to say the not so nice things, so they had to shut it down rather quick.
You mean Vader actually became a bad guy?
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Wiz, final thoughts on this one. It's been a wild 24 hours.
I think just to kind of amplify what Lauren has said is, and I feel it too, we should have been getting trailers. We should have seen Ahsoka season 2. We should have seen more. There should have been more of especially with Mandalorian and Grogu being in the position that it is, where they know it's not in the best spot, but they need to hype people up. They got to tell people that it's there. They got to excite people more than just Burger King crowns. And the fact that there's nothing, that's concerning. But then to double down on that, we just got the end of this Darth Maul show. It leaves so much to be desired. It is not a good show, but the optics, and I'm not going to spoil how it ends, but the final fight is the kind of thing that if you flash us back to 2007, it is the kind of thing that people would have gone bananas for. The concept that these characters firstly would have met, but then secondly would have fought. That's the kind of thing that if it was his own movie, you could have had a whole story there, and it could have been something that made millions and millions of dollars. And now it is on Disney Plus. It is relegated to the second screen. And as you're watching it, all you could think is, I don't care. And that is how, if that's how Star Wars audiences feel, I can't imagine what the normie audience feels. Star Wars, Pro, you said you kind of feel bad for them. I don't feel bad at all. They made their bed. Now they got to live in it.
They've done it to themselves. And what is it with Disney Plus shows that every season feels like prologue? Every season feels like setup. So you watch these seasons. Yeah, right. You watch these seasons and you feel like you're waiting for it to start. And by the time you get to the finale, you realize, oh, it's just setting up for the next season. So the next season it's going to be action packed. And then you get there, and again,
it's that Dani is, I call that the Walking Dead model, because the Walking Dead ruined TV because it started this trend of no matter what happens, the last 5 minutes of the episode are specifically designed to make sure that no matter what, you are here next week, even if the rest of the episode was garbage. Everything is cliffhanger.
Well, let me say this as we get ready to wrap up the conversation. No stuff coming out. We're supposed to be hyped to the max for Mandalorian and Grogu. That's not happening. It kind of feels like we are at the ripcord moment, because what happens when a company makes a huge pivot? You get a lot of silence. I'll give you an example for this. Tesla, about a year ago, they released the big update to their Model X and their Model S vehicles, their premier vehicles at the time. And it was pathetic. And I was like, I enjoyed paying attention to cars and all this kind of stuff. And I thought, why would they have this update for their vehicles that's pathetic? Less than 12 months later, we found out those were being wrapped up, and they were switching to a different model for Tesla, no longer having the Model S and the Model X. And I just look at this with Star Wars and I say, May the 4th is out, Mando's coming out, and there's nothing. Maybe they're getting ready to pull that ripcord after all.
It's a super spring spritzo. Pedro's big year has Disney dropping. It's a super spring spritzo. Take down Star Wars, Avengers, oh please. They picked the wrong people. Even Bree said, nah, woke is collapsing. Theater snapping. It's a super spring spritzo. Oh, spring spritzo. Switch to Ryan Gosling.
All right, folks, we've got more than 800 of the finest, best looking, best smelling, and dare I say, highest intelligence individuals out there on the web. I don't care what your mother said yesterday. Let's dive straight into it. We've got super chats and we've got superstars. What do they say? Well, Patrick Ganaway for 5. Given the amount Disney paid for Lucasfilm, they can't just simply write off the franchise. Hence, the pivot.
Yeah, they have to start making money on this. They paid $4 billion for it, and they have not made that back. People are like, well, those movies made $1 billion. Yeah, but what did they cost? Rise of Skywalker cost them $600 million, and they didn't make that back. So
they don't even make $4 million. It costs $4 billion. They can't clear $4 million. Like, these things don't make money; they burn money.
They do. Chris Dickerson out there for 2. Ahsoka Tano, we want. Hey, Andy, that little toy, the Ahsoka Tano toy, making waves for all the wrong reasons today. I think it's kind of silly, but people are mad that the Ahsoka Tano action figure has a bigger bust than they were expecting, or something about that. What the heck's going on?
Seriously?
Yes.
Well, there's a couple problems here. If you make the first outfit that they gave her was kind of like not age appropriate. Like my daughter would not be wearing that when she was that age.
The tube.
She's basically wearing a halter top and like a midriff showing. But it did the one thing that Star Wars was never able to do was bring in a young female audience to a show and sell merchandise to them. And of course, she was an outlier and she was a good character. And this is a younger version of that. And I think what they're trying to do is, of all these releases that happened, it shows you that they want something that's from that era. Of all of these releases, the only thing that is from the sequel trilogy is Jedi Master Luke Skywalker. Now, you could take this, if you got a collection, you would want a representation of Jedi Master Luke Skywalker, but it's not what they gave you. It's your headcanon about this is what Jedi Master Luke Skywalker would look like. And I can ignore all of the, my nephew had a bad dream kind of thing. All the other figures that you're getting, they do have the Darth Maul with the robotic legs. There's a couple of things in here that are from the, you have an Admiral Thrawn. You've got the Zeb Aurelios character from Rebels. You've got a couple of the remnant stormtroopers and things like that. So, but anybody can kind of tie them in with their collection. The Ahsoka, though, you're not getting Rosario Dawson Ahsoka, which means if you're selling this thing, if it was that successful, you would have had multiple versions of the Rosario Dawson Ahsoka. You would have had multiple versions of those other characters in the TV show, which you don't. Howard Chan has said that he will never ever make another sequel trilogy figure because they lost so much money on them when the first time they came out.
Mm-hmm. Well, you look at Hallmark has announced their Star Wars ornaments, and it's the Vader hallway scene from Rogue One, a snowtrooper. It looks like Dash Rendar's Outrider, or a ship very much like it. They do have the Mando's ship, Babu Frick, the Boba Fett in package. There's a Grogu. There's a Jyn Erso. There's a Darth Maul, and then you have Luke with the green lightsaber, R2D2, and then Luke and Han as a 2-pack in the Millennium Falcon Gunners. No sequel trilogy, anything from Hallmark for Christmas this year.
But really, the star of the show. The star of the show this May 4th is Stinky the Hut. Lauren, look at that little guy in that picture. Looks like a booger with eyes.
He's cute.
Oh, you like him? You think he's cute?
I think he's cute.
You think we get a baby version of him at some point in the Mando movie? You think
No, I don't think
a flashback to baby Stinky?
No, what they're supposed to have is the muscular, sexy version of the Stinky the Hut.
Yeah, but we can't connect with a character unless we get the baby version of him too.
It's going to be great to hear all the shills actually start sexualizing a hut.
Oh
this summer.
gosh! Don't. Oh,
Tomorrow.
So
they're seeing it like now, aren't they? Isn't that like IMAX event happening now?
Are they going to start shipping Stinky the Hut?
I guarantee you, dude, there's going to be stuff where it's just like, man, I'd let him put me in that Leia outfit.
Oh.
There will be all of that from all of the female influencers and the gay influencers. And then one of the male influencers would be like, hey, this female character is pretty hot. And they're going to be like, toxic.
So the guy from Star Wars Explained will be putting on his slave Leia outfit again.
He's coming up later in the show today. Hang on.
It's called Hut Slayer Leia. Thank you very much.
Johnny.
Yikes.
Lord knows what I'm so sorry, Lord. Johnny Pretzels for $9.99 was thinking of turning on Disney Plus for May the 4th. Wiz, any thoughts?
Don't.
And
that's
for God's
sake. Want me to say it? You want me to say cancel it? That's what you want me to say? I'll say it. Cancel Disney Plus. There you go. Happy Star Wars Day.
Oh. They're just fishing for your catchphrase now.
Like I was talking about Maul on Twitter, and people are like, "How'd you watch it? How'd you watch it? I went to Subway, and they were playing it on the television, and I just sat there and watched the entire season at Subway.
Watch fresh.
Watch
fresh. I have no
sake,
interest in the Pedro Lorian movie.
Wasn't The Mandalorian so much easier to enjoy before we knew who Pedro was? Like seasons 1 and 2. Yeah, seasons 1 and 2, when all I knew was oh yeah, he's that guy that did that one season of Game of Thrones that got his head squished by the mountain.
Yeah, Prince Oberyn.
Narcos.
Yeah.
Ask a woman; they know who Prince Oberyn is.
Mm-hmm. And then he just started talking.
The show was so much better before they fired everyone off the production crew that made the show so amazing. And then they were like, "Oh wow, this is getting attention and making us money. So fire everyone who wants to keep quality and just start milking it."
Yeah, we got to put the message in it.
Mm-hmm.
2 penny puppet for $5. I just re-upped my Disney Plus after a couple years, and the first movie I watched was the original Lion King.
Oh, that's a good. That's a good. But
that's a great one.
Wizard disapproves because he's been trying to tell you, for God's sake, right.
But
you know what? You know what reminds me? It reminds me of with the Mandalorian. You ever see that old Looney Tunes thing where Daffy Duck is trying to get the applause and nobody will applaud him, and then Porky Pig comes out there and he's sweeping the stage and everybody goes nuts in applause, and then Daffy keeps trying to jump out and they go silent. That's what they did with Mando season 3. Daffy is Kathleen Kennedy, and Porky Pig is the Mandalorian seasons 1 and 2. Or they did it also with they redid it on Nickelodeon with SpongeBob and Squidward.
Do you want to hear what I heard? Why season 3 was the way it was?
Ladies and gentlemen, I think we've got
So way back on season 1, there were issues where Pedro and Favreau were clashing, and this person who told me this couldn't figure it out. He still doesn't know really what the major issue was, because Favreau has always been a very actor's director since he came from acting. Normally when it comes to the suits and special effects and stuff like that, he wants everyone to be comfortable. He doesn't want people in suits more than an hour and a half. But when it came to Pedro, put him in there longer, make it heavier, make it hotter. He wanted him uncomfortable. He had something out against him. And it got to the point where they started having conversations. We've never really said who the Mandalorian is, right? So if we need to pivot at some point and draw the focus to another Mandalorian, we can do that. Well, after season 2, and this is after someone pulled a pretty nasty prank on Pedro Pascal and put a piece of jagged set, like whatever, in front of his trailer. He was reading his script, not paying attention, and ran smack dab into it and busted his nose, and had to be you can see the scar in like behind the scenes stuff. But anyway, after season 2, his star was rising quite a bit. He's getting all these offers, and he's like, I went out, find a way to let me out. I went out. And so they decided this might be the moment, start pivoting towards Bo-Katan, pointing the focus onto her, because after season 4, we're killing him off. And then I was told it's going to he's going to die. They're going to kill Din Djarin, and then no more Pedro Pascal because he wants out.
Well, I don't think
that's the end of the movie.
I don't think Bo-Katan can carry anything either. So
no, she can't. But that's why season 3 was as messy as it was, because last second that and COVID. I mean, but they were horrible during COVID, all the bubbles, and they treated people like garbage. But they're trying to shift focus last second, moving things around.
So that means that Grogu will end up with Luke and where he should have been.
Which means season 3.
Because they won't kill Grogu.
No. That is their cash cow. Absolutely. And they've been aware of that since the moment people laid eyes on him.
If towards the end of the movie, Grogu walks on a bridge with a deep abyss below him, I'm going to say, no freaking way. They're going to do it. They're going to do it. He's on a bridge.
If that kid doesn't say at least 2 words in this film,
it needs to be a profanity. First words
I'm
are
lighting a match, because if Yoda died at 900 years old, this kid is like 55 at this point. Where's the cut? You know, where's the he's at talking and walking on his own and being able to wipe his own rear end age? Like, seriously, this is getting a little, the age thing here is really starting to mess with my inability to do math normally.
He is a very old infant.
His first words are going to be Matt Damon.
Hawaii Dragon Star for 2. Could it be they are letting the franchise rest? Boy, it's been resting. Boy, it's been resting. Kaylee Oliver for 5. After a spring spritzel, I believe Chuck Norris needs to meet Grogu.
Maybe
that would be a fun time.
You know, we're almost at Summer Sizzle again.
We are. I've been told that we don't go back though to more Pedro, because Pedro's day is coming now. I mean, he's done right after this box office disaster, and they're going to push him all the way back as far as they can on the Avengers. He will not be in the front. He's not going to be the PR peepaw darling they thought he would be. So I don't know. I think it's kind of like picking on Pedro pretty soon. But Lauren, I wanted to toss it to you before we hit the next story. It is, in fact, May the 4th, and Star Wars was a phenomenal franchise. And I wanted to give you the opportunity to tell folks out there, if they are looking for rekindling the love they had for Star Wars so long ago before Disney bought it, what are some things that you would recommend? Some books, some games? What are the best things right now for folks who want to celebrate May the 4th and May the 5th, because a lot of people do that for the Sith angle?
I can tell you what I've been doing, because I was getting to the point where I wasn't enjoying any of it for a while. I haven't watched the original movies in I don't know how long, because I felt that they had become sort of retroactively tainted, and I wasn't enjoying any of the content that was being put out. But I started playing some retro games. There were a bunch of mods that would bring them up to a modern level of graphics. There was some X-Wing is the one that I'm really gung-ho on. I've been playing the X-Wing VM mod. I actually discovered something that was a pretty darn cool Easter egg that surprised me just the other day that I might mention to Marv and Fake Wizard. I don't know if you know this. You remember in Rogue One when they are trying to pull the Death Star plans from the data core, and they're looking up all of these secret Imperial projects, and they've got these various names. You remember what the Death Star project is called?
Stardust?
Yeah. You know, the explanation they give in the movie is that that's what Jyn Erso's nickname was. But you know where that really comes from?
Where?
No.
It does come from X-Wing.
Oh.
In the X-Wing continuity, the plans are initially intercepted because the rebels know that there is a secret Imperial military project because they see all of this material that's being moved, and they're trying to figure out what's going on. So they steal a bunch of Imperial communications satellites, subvert them, and then plant them out in the galactic holonet and start listening to communications. And all of these military shipments are being referenced under Project Stardust. So that was a really deep cut that they pulled for that. And finding that was kind of an aha moment. It also helps.
It's a reference to Jyn Erso.
And real quick, the project at Disneyland to widen the roads, the pathways before they opened Galaxy's Edge was named Project Stardust.
It also helps. It's my son just this last weekend had a friend over and showed him for the first time Star Wars A New Hope. He'd never seen it. And introducing people who haven't seen it and that are open to being introduced to something new and seeing them get excited about it, that also helps rekindle your love for it. So when you can share something you love with somebody who's receptive to it, I think that it helps. And it helps you remember not everything is crap. Sometimes you got to go back and see things with fresh eyes.
Also, you need to do a home check on that kid's parents, never having shown him A New Hope. That's
they listened to Wiz. They listened to Wiz. They couldn't find it anymore because they canceled Disney Plus.
That's right.
Well, Ron Coleman, the attorney extraordinaire who's been on the show recently, he said that the attorneys for Blake Lively must be screaming at her in the background, settle, settle, settle. And ladies and gentlemen, this one is settled, but they're getting it wrong. The mainstream media is missing this. We'll explain why right now and talk about how badly this is going to damage not only Blake Lively, but Ryan Reynolds. Here it is out of Variety. Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni have settled their ends with us sexual harassment lawsuit after a year and a half. Go to the committee notes, please. On April 2nd, 2026, a judge dismissed Blake Lively's harassment, defamation, and conspiracy claims. Justin Baldoni was removed as a defendant. The final settlement resolved the remaining retaliation and contract claims against the production companies and a PR firm. So sorry, Blake, you didn't even get to settle with Justin Baldoni. He was off the hook already. In a carefully crafted joint statement, says Variety, the parties expressed their feeling about moving on. Quote, the end product, the movie It Ends With Us, is a source of pride to all of us who work to bring it to life. All of us. Raising awareness and making a meaningful impact in the lives of domestic survivors and all survivors is a goal that we stand behind. Well, yeah, who wouldn't? We acknowledge the process presented challenges and recognize concerns raised by Ms. Lively deserved to be heard. We remain firmly committed to workplaces free of improprieties and unproductive environments, although they don't say they did that. It is our sincere hope that this brings closure and allows all involved to move forward constructively and in peace, including a respectful environment online. Again, that's not coming from Justin Baldoni. He's off the hook. That's coming from the PR firm and the production company. CNN is covering it this way. Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni's Wayfarer, the company, reached settlement 2 weeks ahead of trial start. Nikki Brown covering it this way. And the high-profile legal battle between Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni's production company, which previously was not against his production company, it was just against him, will no longer go to trial if the parties announced a settlement just 2 weeks before jury selection was slated to begin. Details of the settlement agreement were not immediately available. We suspect there's probably nothing there. I will go to this paragraph. It says, last month, a federal judge threw out 10 of the 13 claims in Lively's lawsuit, including the big ones, effectively narrowing the case. Some of the toss claims, including the ones involving harassment, were nixed due to legal technicalities, such as Lively being considered an independent contractor rather than employee. Oh, CNN. Oh, CNN. Spin me one, please. CNN, they were thrown out because they didn't happen in the state where the judge is presiding over the court. Like, there's no jurisdiction there. And it's all a bunch of trickery by Blake Lively. Okay. Well, here's the deal. They pulled the plug, and everybody remember, Blake said, we're going to trial. I'm taking this to trial. I'm doing it for the little girls. I'm doing it for the children's. Dani, I believe she realized this is not going to go my way, and there's no big payday. As far as we know, it's just release a mutual statement and move on. And this is a huge loss for Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds. They gain nothing except that she and he look a lot like Amber Heard, and I think that's going to hurt their careers. What say you?
I think the whole thing was stupid to begin with. As we were talking before the show started, like I covered a lot of this on my show for what feels like years. And finally I was just like, this is never ending. And it was just a bunch of drama back and forth, texts, and he said this, she said that, he's making me sad, she's saying I was bad guy, he made a character called Nice Pool about me that nobody on planet Earth would have ever known that Nice Pool was supposed to be Justin Baldoni. And really, you're mad that a character called Nice Pool was named after you? Come on. Seriously? The whole situation was just absolutely ridiculous. It's something out of a reality show that, I ban in my household. So this should have been squashed like last year. And those wonderful images that the public had of at least Ryan Reynolds are damaged irreparably now. We have a completely different image of him, and that's a shame.
One of the things that we noticed too is, a lot of the celebrity friends were not fans of having their stuff picked up by subpoenas, and that was about to all come out. And I got a feeling that T Swift is not looking forward to this stuff. So I think, to go into Wiz, I think there was a huge amount of pressure coming from the other folks in Tinseltown saying, do not put our mud out there for a cause you cannot win. Do not, or you're going to be canceled big time. You're not going to play around with us anymore.
Yeah, anytime there's a high-profile case or controversy like this that especially gets legal, another example would be, Amber Heard versus Johnny Depp. Anything that airs Hollywood's dirty laundry, they're not going to like. Now, the Amber Heard, Johnny Depp one was a lot more confined. This one was not. This one had a lot of people involved. We had text messages and conversations, and he said, she said, and it happened to be including a lot of the Hollywood darlings out there. There was many years in between when Johnny Depp was canceled and when the trial took place. He was out of the zeitgeist for a while. Amber Heard out of the zeitgeist for a while. All of this, boom, happening in real time as we have a Deadpool and Wolverine movie still in the brains of everybody. We were many years from Pirates when Johnny Depp had trouble. This is bad. This is bad. And yeah, it's not good for Hollywood. Whether it plays out for either of them, I don't really care. They've got all the money in the world. Yeah. But as far as like Hollywood is concerned, Hollywood is in a sticky situation right now. The perception around Hollywood is fading to it's almost invisible. It's nearly invisible. People do not care anymore. And if we find out a little bit that you're not a good person, you're done. So I think the way that they handle Ryan Reynolds' career and Blake Lively's career moving forward, it's going to be very difficult to manage that. She's going to need to go away for a long time.
I actually think I think she was toast. She is toast, and I think that the settlement was to save Ryan.
Yeah,
probably.
I would agree with that too.
We just did an article on one of the sites. I don't remember if it was that Park Place or Geeks and Gamers, where we talked about the fact that like she is they are contemplating moving to Europe. like they're getting out of Dodge, like they are fleeing the country.
Really?
Because it is so bad for them right now. So Ryan Reynolds has got the soccer club over in England, so they're talking about going to move to England. I mean, she has like, because now you can't think Blake Lively without thinking heinous mean girl, essentially. like she's the ultimate mean girl, right? Like the only one that comes close to her is probably like Anne Hathaway from everything that I've heard. But
oh gosh. And have you seen any pictures of her and Swifty since all this started?
No, well, that was another thing. We covered that on that Park Place, that apparently Taylor Swift has ghosted her, according to friends. Like, she is, the second she got subpoenaed and all this, she was like, I'm not dealing with your drama anymore. Apparently Blake has groveled to her, trying to like get her back as a friend, and Taylor Swift wants nothing to do with her. And
like,
we also
didn't
saw
see any of this coming.
And I know this is 13-year-old girl stuff, like it's
Right.
high school stuff, but like Taylor Swift's boyfriend or fiance unfollowed Ryan Reynolds on Instagram, and everybody noticed.
And
nothing of value was lost.
Hey, Andy, one of the most fascinating threads that I've been following, not on Threads or Blue Sky, I would never go there. Those are disgusting places. But Andy, one of the threads that I've been enjoying so much is apparently people were saying, you know what? Actually, if Ryan Reynolds loses and, can't be hired for a lot of these rom-coms and movies, that's okay, because Mr. Gosling is taking over that role with Project Hail Mary and Starfighter and Ken and all this. And I thought, well, how funny is that he looks similar enough and he's clever enough. We'll just go with him instead. Bye, Reynolds. Bye, Mr. Reynolds. We don't need you. I don't know. Maybe
We have another handsome Canadian Ryan that can.
Right, Mr. Notebook.
Yeah.
So, Andy, what do you think about that? That Gosling star rose while Ryan Reynolds was on the downfall.
This might be a little controversial, but I would like to ask the ladies out there that does it matter who your mimbos are, as long as they look good and they're kind of like they've got a little bit of a charisma where you can say, oh wow, they're kind of sexy and nice and stuff like that.
Are you
can get anybody
Hugh Jackman as a mimbo? Are you calling Hugh Jackman to a mimbo?
Well, I mean, let's face facts. Like, that's why every male Marvel character had the shirt off, right? It was like, well, except for Patton Oswalt when he was in a. Like,
thank the Lord! Oh, thank the Lord! Oh, please don't take the shirt off.
And you've ruined it for me.
Blake Lively, I mean, sending her to England, is that revenge for Meghan Markle having to come back to America? Is that
I don't think it was a heck of a start.
Yeah, I don't think that it's going to be Blake Lively. She's just kind of going into obscurity. Ryan Reynolds will have work because he's Ryan Reynolds, but he's also aging out of the hot young man roles in the rom-coms that he's had. So he's going to have to actually act and be likable. Now he'll be
into Silver Fox.
Well, he will be able to do Deadpool for a while if Marvel can afford him. But I think Marvel's going to end up having to go with all unknown actors and make cheaper movies for a long time to make some money back because they can't afford the direction they're going.
I think that I think that with Ryan Reynolds, I think Deadpool is going to be a reliable source of roles for him. But I think that the rom-coms that he cut his teeth on and that he makes his bread and butter on, I think those are going to dry up, not just because he's getting old, but I think just because the female, like the rom-com audience, the actual female audience, not the one that Marvel and Star Wars pretend to chase, they don't like things like this, and they're very invested in things like this.
Mm-hmm.
Lauren, let's elevate the conversation, you and I. Are you prepared?
I don't know. Am I capable of elevating a conversation? I feel like I drag us down to the gutter.
Lauren, let's put together, okay? Because we've been talking about Baldoni, we've been talking about Blake Lively, but there's something that's way bigger than these two that I think is sort of creating much of the tension, and we need to discuss it. I'm not joking here, Lauren.
Is it a grumpy?
No, that's misheard, okay? Leave those in the bed. Lauren, here's the deal.
Don't leave them in the bed. That's the wrong thing to do with them.
You go deal with them. I don't want any part of that. Lauren, this deal with Blake Lively happened just after new laws. I mean, like within weeks of new laws being passed in California, following the Me Too movement. and they were signed under Gavin Newsom, and they essentially make it almost impossible for any man to defend himself. I mean, really and truly, folks, you can go look at it. Ron Coleman has been on here and described these. Within a few weeks of those being pushed through, Blake Lively made this action. And it seems the calculation was that she was going to manage to use those California laws to win no matter what. And it looked like she was going to. The problem is, finally, a judge said out of New Jersey, oh, wait a minute, we're in New Jersey, and this is not California, and therefore those laws cannot be applied. And that's what saved Baldoni in this case. Lauren, my question is, after Amber Heard and after Blake Lively and after some of this other stuff too, do you think we've reached the point now where that Me Too movement and believe all women and never believe the man, has that melted down? Have we gone back to sanity now to say that both genders are capable of good and bad? Or are we stuck in that same movement?
No.
Okay.
You're still talking about California. It's like, no. I mean, for the rest of the country, I think a lot of people are saying, yeah, that's probably not a good idea, but it's going to take a while for you to convince California to let go of some of that stuff.
Do you think any of the male celebrities looked at this and said, oh, crap, if this had happened to us, if the production is California, we're screwed, all of us. There's nothing we can do. Do you think any of them have figured that out yet?
I think that their livelihoods depend upon agreeing with the groupthink. So they will parrot what the groupthink is and retain their own thoughts privately.
Well, there you go. And maybe move out of California?
Well, if all they're getting is waitering jobs, then yeah, probably.
Well, I've just noticed a lot of major celebrities. Suddenly they're leaving. They're going other places, and they're saying,
because
that's also got to do with taxation. And
they're getting taxed into high holy hell.
Well, the billionaire tax.
Plus, a lot of their houses burned down last year, and they don't want to live in a place that catches fire on.
How many houses have been rebuilt? Last time I checked, it was 2. Are we still at 2? Out of an area the size of the city of Paris? 2, is that right? Folks, we'll check on it. One thing is for sure. The house of Reynolds and Lively, they burned that down. And what did they get out of all of this? What did they chase this for years and roast their careers for? A speechless settlement. A settlement. Well, and don't forget, also 10 out of 13 of the charges dismissed. Woo. With prejudice? Maybe. Snarky with the fudge Dora for $4.99. Lauren, how do you retain all these story details so well and then convey them so perfectly?
For some reason, with things that I'm passionate about, I have a really good recall, and I don't know why that is. Obviously, I don't retain everything, but I got a pretty darn good memory when it comes to the things I'm passionate about. So it just
got that strong noggin.
Strong noggin. Speaking of strong noggins, Wiz, you've got to be clogging your way right on out of here. And what is it that you're getting ready to cover? What big vid are you going to release upon the world?
Actually, I got 2. We got a Maul Shadow Lord video dropping over on the Fake Wizards channel, and that'll be tomorrow. And then we're also putting out, this is one I've been working on for a few days, the Angel Studios. I did a lot of deep diving into Angel Studios and the Animal Farm, and they're not nice guys. They're really not nice guys. So I got a video dropping on that tomorrow too.
Now, when you say they're not nice guys, you know you are stepping into a hornet's nest right now, because they're on the defense, and you're about to smackify them with a wiffle bat of truth and justice.
They're manipulating people.
Yeah.
And I'm going to call them out for it and talk about it, and we'll see what that goes. I don't care.
Listen, I support this. I can't wait to see what you've discovered, because you and I have been talking about, I don't want to give away what's in the video, but something funny is up with the way these tickets are being sold. And,
Oh, but they're selling out.
Oh,
they're selling out, guys.
Well, I not to take up too much time here. There's I can't believe, if it really is happening in the way that I think it's happening, I can't believe it'll go to court. Like, eventually it'll go to court. Somebody's going to call them out. There's got to be something wrong here.
Good.
But I can't make any claims that, I'm just a fake wizard. I'm not a lawyer. We'll see.
One day you'll pass the fake bar.
All right, guys, I got to bounce.
Later, Wiz.
Good to see y'all. Have a great show. Bye.
I hope. I bet. Speaking of that movie, I hope everybody checks out my review of Animal Farm over on geeksandgamers.com.
It's phenomenal.
Oh, thank you. It's 3,000 words, and I give it a 0 out of 10, which is not a thing that I do lightly.
I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you.
It earned the worst score that we've ever given on the channel. Here we give it a 1.5 out of 10. It is atrociously bad. I've seen worse movies. That's the only reason that I did not give it a 0. But at 1.5 out of 10, it was painful to watch. I did not want to be there, and I would recommend people not see it. I mean, I would recommend kids definitely not see it.
So I said in the review, I think it's the worst movie ever made. I've seen worse movies, but I've never seen a movie completely turn the purpose of source material around the way this one did.
Yeah.
And that's what makes it, I think, the worst movie in the history of the world.
Marv and I talked about that very thing on my show, and I clipped that, made shorts of it referencing the live stream, and let me tell you something. We got comments, not nice ones, and I was like, wow, you guys really come out of the woodwork. Like, you're using words that I don't think you really know what they mean.
There's stuff going on, where people just talking about this conservative influencer campaign, that conservative influencers are freaking out over it and banning people and attacking people. It's really strange. Really, really something. Going to Patrick Anyway for 5. Blake Lively probably settled because she feared discovery and her reputation was already.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It stank. Michelle Marshall for $19.99. Thank you, Michelle. That's so kind of you. I watched the original Star Wars first film, my favorite always since childhood. I watched a bit of Mandalorian with Grogu. Grogu is really sweet. Excited for the film because I'm curious what they will do with it. Lauren, some people still are excited for it, and I'm hoping that it's a good movie. Nobody wants to go in there and for it to be a stinker, for it to be bad. Right. The clips are not getting me terribly optimistic for that. I don't know. Did you see, Lauren, the clip from today where Mando and Grogu drive the little bipedal thing underneath the AT-ATs?
Yes, that's an ATRT. I'm in an awkward place with The Mandalorian and Grogu because I love the Mandalorian series. I love season 1 and 2. I hated season 3. Yeah. I desperately want The Mandalorian and Grogu to be good because I actually do love these characters. And I hate that people aren't excited for it. I hate that the mood is down. I'm worried that the movie is not going to be anything huge. And I really do want it to succeed and appeal to the audience. And I'm afraid that ship has probably sailed. So I'm in the awkward place of looking forward to the movie, wanting to enjoy it, having a feeling I'm probably not going to, and that the end of the Mandoverse and all of that is likely nigh. So it's a little bittersweet for me.
And Lauren, you and I are going to go see this together in theaters, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I will likely see it before then, but I'm planning to go see it again with you. Like I said, it's a rough place to be.
Will I be there for that?
Probably. Yes, I mean, unless you just say, no, I'm not going.
No, I'm pretty sure I'll be there for that.
All right, Superfly. I like that name for 5. Do you know anything about the GameStop eBay thing? Low-key, only reason to suggest getting Justin resells on. He's the eBay expert on YouTube. The last I heard, GameStop was looking at purchasing eBay. I don't know what percentage of GameStop's overall evaluation that would bring them to in terms of the percentage that eBay would cost them. eBay, of course, is significantly smaller than it was, 15 years ago. There's now Craigslist, and Amazon just dominates everything. And people have Facebook Marketplace and so many different ways to buy and sell things and the secondary markets. I think eBay will continue to exist and be its own thing. I struggle to imagine GameStop owning eBay, but stranger things have happened. So
there will be an article about this on That Park Place tomorrow that Trevor's working on. So more information you can find there.
All right, check it out tomorrow. Samuel Main has gifted a WDW Pro membership, and as we say here on the channel, Samuel Main is the man. Retromeister for 10. Happy May the 4th to you all. I truly believe that Gina Carano and Ronda Rousey's fight will gain more viewership compared to Mendo and Grogu. No one cares about the film because it died with KK firing Gina.
By the way, I think that Wizard and I are going to be doing a live culture crossfire during the fight so that we can like call the fight.
Oh, super cool. Super cool. I don't know that it'll be much of a fight. I think it might end pretty quickly. I think Gina may dominate.
Yeah, I think so too.
I mean, the most recent photos, Gina and videos, Gina is in amazing shape right now. She is ready to go. You can tell she's been training incredibly hard. I don't think this is going to be like that terrible Mike Tyson Paul fight. I think this is going to be legit, and I think Gina's going to come out there and win the thing.
If they can keep it vertical and keep it to striking, I think Gina takes her easily. If they go to the mat, I think Ronda is going to have an advantage there. But
there you go. Retro again for 10. I find it ironic that both Gina and Ronda previously were canceled by the left. One was canceled for speaking historical facts, while the other one was canceled for speaking biological facts in sports.
They both were, yeah. This fight's going to do huge numbers, and it's going to be promoted by Jake Paul, who they've also tried to cancel many times. So it's going to be a spit in the face of woke Hollywood.
The right, the middle, and the classical left, I think, all have these sorts of stories. Unfortunately, there's 30% that have gone postmodern neo-Marxist. Thank you so much for ringing the bell. So there's this group out there that believes something new. And all the traditional factions of the West are looking at this and saying, well, we have the same experience. We all got the attempted cancellation of us too. All right, Joppy is back out there, and it's so good to see you, Joppy. We're going to make sure we get you on that next member panel. Joppy has gifted 20 WDW Pro memberships. Wow. Thank you, Joppy. That is appreciated.
1.21 gigawatts! 1.21 gigawatts!
Perfect. Wahoo!
Siani Reese is out there for $4.99. I was a Ryan Reynolds fan, but now that this has all happened, I can't watch him. Now, Glenn Powell and Ryan Gosling, I can get behind.
Mm-hmm.
Siani, we know what's on your mind. We've got Paul 12,000 for 2. Trolling. Keep that trolling. Wilton Raid.
Welcome, all 5 of you.
Aww. We've got Charger Comic for 10. Removing sequels. If they use the World Between Worlds, as their jailbreak, what next? What stops Mara Jade from the pre-Disney era showing up as a metaphor of us lapsed fans to guide Ahsoka to a third timeline?
If they use the World Between Worlds, I believe that the requirement is that Ahsoka is removed from the timeline going forward. And the reason this resets things, which I have not really clearly described before, is if you start at the sequel trilogy and work backward, Emperor Palpatine is cloned. He is cloned through the use of cloning technology, dark science, and secrets only the Sith knew. Part of the cloning issue involved the need for Grogu's blood. That's why the Empire was looking for Grogu. They originally captured him because Din turned him over. They got some samples of the blood, but they used all of it up in their experiments after Din took Grogu back, so they needed to reacquire Grogu. They did that because they placed a tracking device aboard the Mandalorian ship. The Mandalorian was trying to get Grogu to the Jedi. He encountered Ahsoka. Ahsoka told him to go to Tython to use the eye on that mountaintop to find a Jedi to take Grogu to. That's where Grogu was captured. They got more of his blood and then told the Mandalorian on that raid to go ahead and take him back because they already got the blood. And we know that blood made it to the Imperial Remnant because Project Necromancer is mentioned in Season 3, and Palpatine was actually cloned in the First Order. So, if they use the World Between Worlds to remove Ahsoka from the timeline, Mando never meets her, the Mando never goes to Tython, Grogu is not captured, and they don't get new samples of his blood, so Palpatine can't be cloned.
There you go. That's a great explanation, Lauren. Thank you for doing so. And it matters where the Ahsoka season is happening chronologically and where the planet is and all that. And there's just so much lining up here. If they're going to pull the ripcord, they have the chance. they probably would not have it again, right, Lauren?
Yeah, they've got one chance to pull the pin on the grenade, and they cannot fail in trying to tell a good story. That's the problem. There's no patience at all. You have to tell not just one good story either. It's got to be one good story followed by another good story followed by at least another good story before you get any tolerance for something mediocre. They're in a really bad place.
Wait a minute. Are you saying there has to be some semblance of consistency?
And a plan. Wouldn't that be a place to start?
Now, folks, if you want to find that sort of thing on the internet, there's only one place to go. Folks, check out The Veiled Legacy. It's our good friend Dani right here writing this one on fundmycomic.com. Dani, tell the folks out there what you've done and why they should be a part of it as well.
Well, I've adapted my novel, One Foot in Darkness, to Veiled Legacy. It's a 10-book arc. This is book 1, Midwest Gothic. It's about a rural Midwestern family's act of kindness goes horribly wrong and turns into a supernatural home invasion, leaving Emma Hogan to survive the night alone, while her twin brother Jimmy has to race against the clock to rescue his family, saving what's left of them from forces unknown before they are lost forever. It's got vampires, Greek mythology, James Bond gadgetry, a whole lot of gore, but not too, it doesn't, sacrifice story or plot. I promise you. A lot of suspense and just nonstop page turning action. I've put everything into it. My whole soul is in this book. And I promise you, if you back this campaign, if you pre-order this book, you will not be disappointed.
That's right, folks. Buy something that you can't stop turning the pages, as opposed to enjoying new Hollywood stuff that can't stop turning your stomachs over. Marv?
I was going to say, as the person on the panel who has read this book, I can attest. It's phenomenal. Please go see it. It is, it's a 40-page book, but it's 40-page graphic novel, but it reads so fast and so and I read it as a script, and it just came alive to me in my head. Just through the dialogue. So I can't wait to see the visuals.
It's a beautiful thing. All right, let's get back to the super chats for just a few, and then we've got more news to bring your way. Michelle Marshall for $4.99. Thank you, Fake Wizard, for exposing Angel Studios. We'll be watching your video. Well, I guarantee you, while the Wiz is working on the next thing coming out tomorrow, he's still listening in. Thank you, Michelle, for sending that kind thing to him. And I, too, will be watching it. Cannon Barnes for $5. May the 4th be with you all. Welcome, Dani. It's great to have you here. Did anyone see the Don Alorian and Grogu White House post? Free movie marketing.
Oh, that ticked a lot of people off today. Between the Trump Mandalorian post from the White House and Mark Hamill doing the video with Obama, can we just keep politics out of Star Wars? And I don't care what side it's on. Can we just stop involving it in everything?
It's why I'm not covering it. It just doesn't rise to that level. I'm not covering Mark with Obama. I'm not covering, the Trump Mandalorian. It is what it is, folks. It is what it is, but it doesn't really have a huge impact on the entertainment side. It is more distinctly political. Therefore, we're not covering it. We do cover politics when it intersects with entertainment, but only when entertainment is the leading factor in what we're doing. We've got Michelle out there for $4.99 again. Dani, glad you were here tonight. Can't wait to read your book. You're beautiful inside and out.
Oh my gosh. You are an absolute angel. I am so glad I've gotten to meet you. Thank you so much, Michelle.
Super, super nice. Paul, 12,000 for $5. I think I sent my last email to your My Park Place mail address, sending a new message to your Behind the Robot email address titled Progress. Thank you, Paul. Thank you indeed. Charger comic for $2, but what stops pre-Disney Mara guiding her, Lauren?
Yeah, Lorne.
Yeah, Lorne.
Sorry. Well, one part that I would say there would be my personal theory, and the other is more kind of how their behavior has been. I think Disney has made a couple of mistakes more than a couple, but there are a couple of pretty big mistakes that they have made in the sequel era. One is that they are having Luke adhere to the prequel era Jedi's no attachments rule. They seem to be slavishly adhering to a couple of things that Lucas was very adamant about, and I think that is hurting the franchise. That means that Lucas would not have had Luke get together with Mara Jade, and Disney seemed to be honoring that. I don't expect Mara Jade to be brought back into continuity. My personal theory part is that it's not Mara Jade that would be convincing Ahsoka that she needs to undo the timeline change. It's actually Thrawn. The way that I view the Mandalorian and Grogu, and what I hope they do, is that Thrawn has made it back to the mainline Star Wars galaxy after being stranded on Peridea. He finds that there are a number of Imperial warlords that are acting against the New Republic. They're creating all kinds of noise and attention from the New Republic. So I think he, through the Hutts, starts feeding information about those Imperial warlords' locations and weaknesses to the New Republic, and they use the Mandalorian to clean them up. In that way, the New Republic thinks that they have a victory and that they have wiped out the Imperial remnant. Thrawn has wiped out his rivals, and he acquires their resources, which allows him to build up and strengthen his fleet. I think that Baylan Skull is still on Peridea and trying to find a way into the world between worlds. I believe that Thrawn and he will remain in contact. Baylan Skull is this continuity's version of Jorah Sabaoth. Thrawn will recognize that Ahsoka used the world between worlds to continue to live, and that led to this timeline, and he will show her that. He will show Ahsoka that her living led to the First Order rising and Palpatine being cloned. And that will be her impetus to accept her fate and then become the daughter in Mortis. So that's the way that I see it going.
Got a lot for that $2 there, Charger Comic.
I would say so.
Pretty much laid out what just might be happening for the next few years at Star Wars, huh? Don't know, folks, but what a response. What a $2 super chat. Sienna Reese for $1.99. You had me at Vampire and Supernatural. Lauren, I need 8 minutes of pure exposition gold that explains exactly where franchises are going based on this. Go.
You need Trish for this one.
That's
true.
Siani, we appreciate you. All right, and we go to Joppy. And Joppy, it's so good to see you. Thank you for taking the time. I know it's difficult. Member for 15 months. Darn it. Swore I'd never post again because I have to bend and bring the face really close to the screen to see the letters. But finally, a writer on here. I've got my own novels, not graphic, and I always love to ask, what is your ideal story structure?
What do you mean, finally?
I was going to say.
I've been here for 2 years.
Marv's like, I'm sitting right here.
You're a writer?
It's because they don't. It's because my novels were all ghostwritten, so I can't actually tell them what it is. So.
Do you have a keyboard?
My favorite story structure. Good ones. I guess I really like suspense, and I like how do I put this? I like a lot of back and forth. So
you like to jump in the timeline a lot?
Yeah,
you don't like
well, not jump in the timeline, but I like a 3-act, a good solid 3-act structure. But I do like really making the reader think, like I like making you work for it, and I really like torturing my characters. But as far as structure goes, I do really like the solid classic 3-act structure. But the way I break mine down, and I mean it's still 3 acts, but I do have intro, act 1, 2, 3, and then finale. So I hope that answers.
The third act also includes a real, misdirect that comes true, and you always saw it coming. I don't know.
Yes.
I don't know why I like the Sixth Sense kind of stuff, but I just like any story that at the very end you go, oh, I can't believe that. How did I miss that the whole way through? It's a thing that happens.
Okay, so I really like Easter eggs. I like dropping little hints of things throughout. And when Marv read my script, he asked me like a zillion questions at the end of it. And I was like, I'm not telling you.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm not telling you because it gets answered, and that would just be spoilers. So
You get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
Nothing for you, Marv.
That was the conversation. Donovan Bradford said I was channeling my inner pesto from Good Feathers, and I love that comment. Pasta Azul!
Archer Merchant for 5. I know I mentioned it earlier, but any interest in the Lucas Museum opening in September? Absolutely. What if it's in better shape than Star Wars by then?
probably will be.
That's an absolute.
Yeah, I think that there is no question. And we may, Lauren, September, let's see, that will be on the backside of a convention that we haven't yet announced, and we're not going to announce it now. Lauren, wouldn't that be cool if we sent you there for the opening?
That would be cool.
He's like, what, are you kidding me?
What? Two, Danny's missing out on Kitchen Nightmares. Must see. And Archer Bridger for 2, No Lies.
I love that show.
Young adult centaur romances. And Doge Pal for 2, Danny's missing out on Kitchen Nightmares. Must see.
Apparently Gordon is finding a lot of stuff in this episode.
All right. All right. From Mr. Ramsey to what's happening in Star Wars as they try to prop up the Mandalorian Grogu box office. Lauren, before we do this, I just want to say I'm sorry. Lauren, do you forgive me?
I don't know if I want to pre-forgive you.
I'm sorry, Lauren. The Walt Disney Company is busy trying to prop up the Mandalorian Grogu box office. It's not going well, and now they're inviting influencers. We won't call them shills this time, but Mr. Grizzy will. They're inviting influencers to the premiere of the Mandalorian Grogu. Folks, here's the video sent to Star Wars Explained.
It's Captain Spit Take.
Snails, goodbye! Hi, Alex! Hi, Molly! We're calling you to invite you to the premiere of the Mandalorian and Grogu!
No, say your line right now.
All right, so they're sending the influencers invites to the premiere. Why are they bringing in the influencers? It's usually celebrities. It's usually, people with the trades. Why are they going to influencers? Well, it could be because of this. Out of Bulletin by Adam White, new Star Wars film tracking for week box office debut. And this is not going well. Early tracking data suggests an $80 million opening over Memorial Day weekend, a concerning figure for Disney, given the film's reported $165 million production budget. Folks, if you want to add that up, 165 plus, we would assume at least, gosh, I can't say $100 million marketing. There's no way. It's at a Super Bowl commercial. It's at all this stuff. It's got to be 200. I mean, they don't do it for less than 200 for these kinds of blockbusters. Mm-hmm. I can't. Okay, I got to go 200. And that's going to put that at what? About 350? 350, that means it's got to break even in the 700. If you bring that down to 100 million and say it's a break even of 600, there's just no way. At an $80 million opening, that would mean that if it's a 1-to-1 internationally, it would be 160 on the opening worldwide. These films perform at like a 2.75 box office legs run. That means this comes in under 500 mil easy, and we're losing $100 million at the box office. So they're sending out the videos to the shills saying, please, will you come on over? And, Marv, you said the spit take guy, right? Star Wars is Star Wars Explained. Spit take guy. Marv, why? Why do we call him the spit take guy?
Because in your shill montage that you played earlier, he does the spit take conveniently back into his mug when he sees Star Wars Outlaws start.
At least that's what I hear.
Wait, what?
So the same folks that they turned to Star Wars Outlaws, the same people that are trying to bring in for the Mandalorian premiere. Now, I'm not trying to be mean or derisive or divisive or, in any way negative about these people. I just don't care. Good for them that they got invited, but I don't think that this is going to go well for Disney. I don't think they have the pull, and I think we've seen that over and over again. They
do this every time they have a new project, and they send it to this guy every single time. When the Acolyte premiered, they sent him a big box of crap, of merch. They sent him a blanket and a ramen bowl with chopsticks that had acolyte stuff all over it. That's what they've been doing. They're now trading in access is what they're doing. They're trading in access and saying, don't you want to be like us? If you're nice enough to Star Wars, if you like us enough, and if you tolerate us enough, you'll get that magical DM from Star Wars and we'll send you a present. Don't you want to be one of the cool kids? It's access. It's the new currency.
So
I will say, I have to say that this is gonna be really hard to say. Grace Randolph was right.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm okay. I got it out. Don't worry. Grace Randolph was right.
However, she was completely self-unaware.
Well, yes, I mean she's part of the problem, but she
Yeah.
was saying that this is what they do. The influencers have completely taken over the role of critics, and this is 100% what that is. They're just inviting people along to boost this movie and to essentially just make it sound like it's the greatest thing ever. Because people form a parasocial relationship with influencers. They think of them like their friends, and they trust what they say, and they don't realize that a lot of them are bought and paid for.
Lauren, I'm not trying to be disparaging to the influencers. They do what they do. I know why they do it. When I see Disney though reaching out to them with these unique puppet things, and we're not. I hope Disney doesn't think that we want them to do that for us, because we would just reject it. I mean, we have a policy of no quid pro quos. We would not go. We're going to pay the ticket like everybody else. But Lauren, if Disney thinks that the influencer is going to bring folks to The Mandalorian, I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think that these people actually have any influence whatsoever with normies at all.
Laugh at them.
Well, to normies, no, absolutely not. But I also think that it communicates that you're desperate. You know, you shouldn't do this kind of marketing. If you're confident about your material, it will speak for itself. Just put it out there. If I were them, it's kind of tricky to know how to advise them for this particular movie, because I'm banking on the theory that there's more to this movie than what they're telling us, and that's deliberate. But it's a really, really risky strategy, given that people already aren't excited about it. So that sort of lends itself to thinking maybe this is just a lightweight movie, and if so, they're in real trouble.
The other thing too is these puppets in normal lighting look really silly.
They look cheap.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they are silly. It
looks like Fraggle Rock.
This may make me sound a bit like a shill here myself. The Anzellans have grown on me, and I don't know why. I don't like anything about them.
Doctor, there are tweezers that will remove them.
That's a Sarlacc, Lorne.
If you need help, your neighbor will likely assist you if they're on your back or nether regions.
Yeah, anyway, I don't think they should be doing this. I think that this just, again, communicates that you don't have confidence in your own material. And influencers who do this kind of thing, they do come off as fake. It may be that they're genuine in their reactions. Maybe they really do like everything that they claim to like. But it's hard to believe it given the overacting nature of what they're doing, you know? Yeah. Hopefully, I hope if I ever get excited about something and I'm on here and talking about it, I hope that comes through as genuine, because I wouldn't fake that, you know? And if I hate something, I'm not going to sugarcoat that either. I would hope that you would recognize if I'm saying I hate this, I really hate it.
And we would never here on this channel stoop so low as to using puppetry to promote anything.
Go fund yourself, Bob.
Hey, Andy, I couldn't help but notice one of the problems here is, they put these puppets out in the light and they don't look great. They don't look good. And I noticed the stuff behind you actually looks significantly better than what Lucasfilm. I mean, look at this. I mean, this just does not look great. Andy, could you get the tiny little Culture Casino, the updated Culture Casino? Could you bring him up to the video, please? I mean, just look at the detail. Look at it. This is what Lucasfilm should be doing. Not culture per se, but Andy, what do you make of them not being so well received in the way they're doing these videos?
I think when they fired everybody that they found problematic, they fired a lot of talent, and they don't have anyone to replace it with. They've got everyone who's grown up on CGI from the prequel trilogy thinks that the art of practical effects are passe and outdated. But clearly, when everybody sees, look at Rocky in Project Hail Mary.
Oh my gosh,
Everybody
it's
loves
amazing.
Rocky.
Amaze.
Yes.
Can you imagine if, but you know, Project Hail Mary and Amazon, they didn't do this, right? Think about the difference. Okay, this is a great, think about the difference in the way they handled the Rocky and Project Hail Mary advertising. Rocky was literally saying amaze, amaze, amaze to the Artemis crew. Ryan Gosling was doing that too. And then you compare that to where Disney and Star Wars are. On the one hand, you got Project Hail Mary, which is being used as inspiration for historic space flight that will put them in the history books forever. And on the other side, you got Disney reaching out to known influencers who will just say and do anything for Star Wars with little tiny puppets that don't hold up anything like Rocky. What a difference. What a difference in where we are. It's amazing. Okay, so final question for the panel. Anybody can have at this. We're being told that the Mando movie is on track to make $80 million on the 4-day weekend. I'm starting to wonder if they're worried it's going to make less than that. It's hard for me to imagine Star Wars making less than that on a 4-day, but I'm starting to think that it just might be lower, and that maybe the internal numbers are showing that. What do you guys think?
I think it's going to be lower.
It's possible.
I think the bubble has burst, not just with Star Wars, Lucasfilm, Disney, but with Hollywood in general. I mean, we were kind of touching on it with the Blake Lively stuff and with the influencers. You know, the normies even are really just tired of it. They don't care anymore. If they do care, I'm just sick of it. Like, you're on my last nerve. You're very annoying. You stand in your ivory towers and you tell us how dumb we are and how you know what's best for us. You know, we just want to be entertained, and you can't even do that anymore. So the bubble has burst. They've broken trust with the audience every single time something comes out. It's either it's not good or it's something they can't follow. So at this point, I think it's just like, why go? You know, when I could just wait in 3 weeks and watch it on the streaming service that I already pay for. So I think they do know they're in trouble.
Hey guys, I need some way to hedge. So if this thing makes more than 100, I don't look like I was wrong. Does anybody got a good hedge on this? Any way to really just play it on the fence, but people think I'm on both, you know, anyway, Lord, what do you got, Lord?
I will say one thing about the casuals, okay? I have heard, I haven't seen it myself because I haven't seen the trailer in theaters, but I have heard people say that when the trailer is played in theaters, they're hearing people who would be into Baby Yoda, people, usually mothers who love the adorable baby, they do get excited. And there may be more of that than what we would be able to track, because they're not going to be people who are showing up on these channels. These are casuals. And so I am not convinced that the Grogu hype is over. I think that we're sick of it because we've had too many years gone without additional content, and we got overexposed to it. I'm not sure that's the casual audience. So there's your hedge. The casual audience may respond to this better than we expect.
Jimmy's back again. Yeah, well, Jimmy Kimmel.
Oh no, really?
Yeah. 2 days off on Jimmy Kimmel, and as you all know, Disney is likely to make a decision about him, at least internally this week. We don't know what the external announcement would be, but this coming to us from the New York Post, and we'll scroll up so you can see it, folks. New York Post says Jimmy Kimmel's ill-timed Rudy Giuliani joke resurfaces after ex-mayor is hospitalized and, by the way, in critical condition. Vinny Johnson says, after making Trump deletion jokes, Jimmy Kimmel joked about Rudy Giuliani last week, saying he rose from the grave. It was just announced tonight that Rudy was hospitalized and is in critical condition. Why is Kimmel always joking about death? But I'll tell you this, the stuff Kimmel says, we can't play here. We cannot play it on YouTube, not because we're in fear that Disney would come get us, but rather because it's so profane, so grotesque. We can only play what he says about death But we can't go beyond, and we'll explain that in just a few. What he says, we'll put it in our own words where you can understand. But here's Jimmy Kimmel just days before Rudy Giuliani was placed in the hospital on critical condition care.
Last night, America's Mayor Rudy Giuliani rose from the grave to weigh in on the ongoing drama involving me.
Dad, I want you, if you don't have it, I want you to dig out the one from maybe one of the most distasteful human beings in this country, Jimmy Kimmel.
Oh, what was that sound? You just... I have to say, it hurts to be called distasteful by a man.
And I can't say what the punchline is, and we can't play it. We can't. We'll show it to you in text in just a second so you can understand. It says, well, you see the quote here, right? Okay, so here we go again. Referencing the ill-timed joke about First Lady Melania Trump looking like an expectant widow days before the attempted deletion of President Trump at the White House Correspondents' Dinner, Jimmy Kimmel was back at it, going after Rudy Giuliani. During the show, he played a clip of Giuliani, who is 81, remarking on his podcast that the embattled talk show host is one of the most distasteful human beings in this country. Kimmel said, I have to say it hurts to be called distasteful by a man who relieved himself in his pants in front of Borat's daughter, but it gets worse. He says Kimmel was making believe that he was hosting the White House Correspondents' Dinner, which I think he did once. I don't know, probably once. About 4 people probably watched it. He bombed like usual. Rudy Giuliani says in the clip. Then here's where we go, where it gets bad. It says, quote, I have to say it's confusing to be called an incompetent jackass by a man who accidentally held a press conference outside a phallic
plastic phallic
purchase place.
Yeah.
There you go. And we won't go beyond. Okay, we'll just leave it there, folks, because Jimmy Kimmel is just too disgusting. It's too much for Disney.
I mean, someone wrote that for him. He didn't write that. Someone wrote that for him.
His wife probably wrote it. She's
probably his wife. Marv, it's just too much. Like, I don't care who's right. I don't care who's wrong. I don't care if Kimmel comes out and says, well, actually, I could not have known that he would be in the hospital the next day. Who could have possibly done? It's like, dude,
he's an old man.
Does it matter?
Stop making the death jokes and stop being this vile. I mean, talking about this kind of stuff on a Disney network, it's like, what are we doing? What are we doing?
Triples, quadruples himself down. Every single time this happens, he never apologizes. He never does anything like that. He's going to do it again. He's going to wait for Disney to do nothing, and then he's going to do it again.
I mean, he is talking about a guy who was America's mayor. Like him, love him, hate him, whatever. But the guy
that is the man. 9/11. Yeah, that is the man who sailed New York,
crapping his pants.
That is the man who sailed New York City through the darkest day it ever had. And as somebody who lived in that area during that time, I could say Rudy Giuliani was a hero at that point. Like 100% a hero. The entire world was looking up to that man. He showed leadership that very few people can ever show in their lives. And he got that city. Never mind the fact that he cleaned that entire city up before that. And he got all of the, he cleaned up all the crime out of Times Square and actually made that city livable again. I'm sure
he created Rico.
Yeah. Exactly. He took down the entirely fictional organization that some people call the mafia, and he was a force to be reckoned with.
Annie, why would Disney at this point not just say, we can't do this? You're going on Hulu. You've got to come off the network. It's too vile. I mean, it's just we can't. We're on YouTube. YouTube is very, very lenient on things you can say. We can't say what's being said on late night TV, Disney's network anymore.
No, we can't. So obviously they like what he's saying.
Josh tomorrow, do you like that? Hey, Josh, new CEO of Disney. You want to take off the Walt quotes? If you can dream it, you can build it. Take the Walt quotes off the wall and replace it with Melania has the glow of an expectant widow, and replace it with Rudy Giuliani, America's mayor, gave a press conference in front of a plastic phallic grown-up store for bedroom stuff. Boy, that's going to be, and don't do what Pro did and censor it. No, Josh D'Amaro, you're the CEO of Disney. Put it up in all its glory. Put up what Jimmy Kimmel is saying and see if the families enjoy that. Andy, what the heck is going on? This is obvious now. Left, right, doesn't matter. The guy is just gross.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
Yeah, but the audience they have doesn't mind that.
They got 2 million people watching him. Who cares? It's 1/6 of what they had with Letterman and Leno. It's 1/12 of what they had with Johnny Carson. He's getting walloped by Gutfeld every single night.
They could put Home Improvement reruns on in place of it and get more ratings.
Yeah. People don't watch late night talk shows anymore.
2 million.
Put reruns of Roseanne on there and watch how the ratings go up.
Oh yeah.
Let me say it again.
Oh yeah.
There are 360 million people, something like that in the US, if you include everybody. And in the world, I mean, this is broadcasting, in more than just the US. 2 million people watch this every night. This is pumped into every house in the country across the public airwaves. 2 million tune in every night. Lauren, what say you when it comes to Jimmy Kimmel? I'm waiting for the decision to happen, and I don't know what they're going to do. I wish I did know. I'd scoop it. I'd put it out there, but I don't know. And this is a decision that's going to come down to, I think, Wall Street and Josh D'Amaro, the CEO. But, I mean, at this point, you just know it's going to happen again. He's going to make another death joke about an elderly person he disagrees with. It's going to happen again.
Our level of... I'm sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say that our level of tolerance has removed our ability to set boundaries and have respect for things like the office of the president, or just respect in general for human life. It's
at this point.
What are we doing?
At this point, he's like a kid, in front of the principal, and the principal can't suspend him for whatever reason. And the kid realizes it and just says the most vile, awful things, like daring you. Try it, buddy.
Yeah.
Try to suspend. You can't. The school board took your ability away or whatever. That's where we are, Lauren. This guy's going to get worse and worse and worse.
I'm a little surprised they didn't announce something today. I thought that they
made
would.
The 4th, so.
That's going to stop them. My
I would
question is,
expect it to be a Friday night. If they do something, it's going to be in the dead of night. Try to keep it out of the news cycle, right?
My question is, they had pulled the promos. Have they still got those pulled? Are they still not?
I don't have an update on that. Let me see if I can find. Go ahead, though. I don't know the answer to that one.
I think that will give us an indication of what they're thinking, but I agree with you. The man's not going to shut up, and he is daring them to do something. At this point, again, if I were tomorrow, you've got to be doing the mental calculation that eventually he's going to say something about somebody who is going to get hurt, and that's going to reflect on your leadership. And Josh D'Amaro is a new leader. He has to project strength, especially right now. So were I him, this would be a really easy calculation, especially because the guy's already losing you money. But I don't know if he's that strong a leader yet. I do see him making changes, making some pivots. He is exercising some control over the company. That's a good sign. I think that if he does bounce Kimmel, it will send a really strong message. And I think that would be good for the company.
I think okay, so here's the thing. One, I don't think they're doing anything. They're not going to do anything to him. They're keeping him exactly where he is. Nothing's going to happen. And it's because of the Hollywood revolt that happened last time, when all of the talent agencies went ballistic about it and had all of their people doing all of that crap. Additionally, though, I think that the thing that made this undoable was Trump calling for it publicly and the FCC then getting involved. Because
but the
now
FCC
it sounds
didn't get involved because of what he said.
But Lauren,
the perception, I agree, but the fact of the matter is, it's because of the DEI practices, and we
Well,
know
yes,
that.
they have that sitting in their back pocket. Obviously, they referenced our reporting, in bringing those charges up, but they didn't move forward until all of a sudden they had a problem with Jimmy Kimmel. And I think that this administration sometimes is its own worst enemy in that it does these things and it basically hands the talking points to their opponents. I think at this point, you made Kimmel bulletproof.
The other
I think
thing
you might be right.
that I think that they should keep in mind, you're right, that they would try and exert pressure on Disney and say, well, then we don't want to work with you. Were I Disney at this point, I'd be saying, fine, because they're already having trouble getting work. They are not putting out the number of TV series and movies that they used to put out. Call their bluff. What I really do think tomorrow at this point, he needs to be projecting strength. He needs to determine what kind of a leader are you going to be, because this is his first year. And with Dana Walden right there at his heels, he's in a vulnerable position. So he has to shore up his position, project strength, and say, I'm not a guy who's going to take any nonsense. The buck stops here. And if you get on my bad side, you're the one who's going to suffer.
The other thing, real quick, Marv, if he did this, if he fired Kimmel and he survives it, Dana Walden is much weaker inside the company after that because she's the one who saved Kimmel in the first place.
Right. I also just think that even though there is legitimate reason with the DEI practices to look into these things, I think if you do it at this point or you remove Kimmel at this point, the talking point is there. Like it's like when Kimmel said last time that Trump was the one that got him suspended. He wasn't. But that was the talking point, and that's the thing that everyone believes. And when you're dealing with narratives like this, the truth doesn't actually matter. It's what they're saying happened.
This is why I think Disney has an out. Just come out and say, due to pressure from the government, we can no longer have Kimmel on the air. We cannot jeopardize our network. We believe in free speech, but we also believe in pragmatically saving our company's assets. Therefore, Kimmel will be on Hulu. We will continue to promote his free speech, but he will no longer be on network TV, blah, 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 blah. Claim you're being attacked. Let The View come out there for the next 3 weeks, 3 months, and declare free speech is dead because of this. And all the while, the government didn't do anything. But for Disney, just run the narrative. Now, I'm not suggesting they do that. That's not how I operate. I believe in doing truth with a capital T. But at the same time, Disney as a company, they want a PR spin. If they want to offload Kimmel right now, this is the time to do it. This is the week to make the decision. Pull that ripcord like in Star Wars and say, oh, we're under attack from the feds. We got to do something. Jimmy Kimmel is going to take down our network. We love him. We believe in him. But we'll be the martyrs and move him to Hulu. Gosh darn it. And then he'll disappear. Because if he's on Hulu, nobody's going to watch him. And he will literally disappear.
Yeah.
You
might be right.
Yeah, before we wrap this one up.
I don't know. I honestly think that the rhetoric surrounding this is the thing is that the concept of free speech is constantly in these situations being misinterpreted. Yes, he has a right to free speech. That means that the government cannot throw him in jail for saying the things that he's saying. It doesn't mean that his employer has to keep employing him because he said something offensive.
Exactly.
His employer has every right to fire him, and that has nothing to do with free speech.
Andy, I'll give you the final word on all of it. What do you say?
My biggest question through all of this is DeMauro is kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place because he's got reality and what the mainstream audience has decided because Kimmel's numbers aren't there. So he's not a mainstream draw. Doesn't go crossing aisles. He's got his audience. DeMauro's stuck between getting a bigger audience and dealing with the Hollywood people who are in their bubble and that are going to support Jimmy Kimmel because of their preferences. And he's got Dana Walden there waiting in the wings. Now, my idea would be that Dana Walden would crash and burn very, very quickly because her ideas are just so far out there and they don't mesh with the mainstream middle of the country that actually gives you business. She would take Disney back into that entire woke era that has already failed. Of course, then who would you replace her with? And at that point, do you get someone who would shake up the entire board and get rid of the Iger holdouts and put people in there that actually want to make money again?
Well, we'll find out. And I think over the next 2 weeks, definitely a decision happens internally this week. Don't know if they'll make the decision externally yet known, but I think tomorrow needs to be bold here. Jimmy Kimmel, if they don't recognize this is not as bad as it gets, he's going to do something that forces you. He wants to be a martyr. Listen to me, Disney. I know you watch the videos. I know you watch the shows. He wants to be a martyr. He is going to force you to fire him eventually. And right now, it's not as damaging as it is going to be, because he's going to make it be where you have no choice, because you are going to phase him out in 1 year, and he doesn't want to be phased out. He wants to be the biggest thing on the planet. His wife and he believe that they're freedom fighters against the orange Godzilla. So the only way that he leaves this thing is in a blaze of glory. And for you, it's going to be a really bad story when he does so. And it's Super Chat time, ladies and gentlemen, as we get ready to end another video, another live stream of excellence. Dogefowl for 2. Dani's missing out on Kitchen Nightmares. Must see.
I'll give you Gordon walked into a restaurant that wasn't doing that well, and he tried the food and he didn't like it, but then he instituted a bunch of changes that the owners initially resisted, and then in the end, the restaurant was better for it.
Did the owner cry at any point and have an internal family strife?
Yes, at some point, and then Gordon will put on his serious voice and be like, "You have to go in there and do it, mate. You've got to do it for yourself, mate." Like it'll all be that.
Did he find something grotesque in the kitchen that he can't believe is actually there?
I've never seen her walk in like this. Green burgers kill people.
I think we've got the
Amazing.
out.
Amazing.
I can't really do it without cursing.
100 crowns. Jobby, thank you. Apology to Marv, but I just thought you only wrote articles as a typical journalist. Pointless to ask a consumer's preference. More interesting to ask fellow authors. No offense, I swear.
No, so
Jobby, we'll hand it to Marv. Marv, what's your favorite story structure?
Well, no. So I will just tell you. Before I worked for that park place, I was a professional author. I wrote novels for a living. I was a ghostwriter, so I was writing it for somebody else. So contractually, I can't like give my books out over the airwaves. If you ever meet me in person, I'm happy to tell you where to look. But story structure wise, I typically go to Mythic Hero's Journey.
All right, wait a minute. Marv, how have you written more than 10 novels?
I have written more than 30 novels, bro.
More, I see. I was going to walk it up the ladder. I was going to say, have you written more than 20 novels?
I just skip right to the finish line.
All right. So your favorite structure is?
Yeah, my Mythic Hero's Journey is my favorite. It's not what I've done most. I did a lot of horror in my day. I did a lot of horror stuff, a lot of like haunted house and things like that. So there will be something I can tell you for you guys that you guys will be able to read of mine within the next year. So I'm working on a few different things. There will be stuff coming out.
I know.
Yes,
look for Mythic Hero's Journey. Look for dual protagonist tragedy. Look for thematic arc structure. It's all going to be there, guys, and you're going to know all about it long before it actually comes out.
Very, very cool. Cannot wait. And I tell you what, we can't wait to put this out on the screen because Joppy is being very generous tonight. Joppy, thank you.
That's insane.
500 crowns.
Crazy.
As a caveat to what I wrote about me being an author, I'll never say which novels. I don't need the PR, and I can say what I want here solely because I use my sister to publish via her. Talking about sensitive topics as a public figure is self-destructive.
Well, you know what? I appreciate the fact that you're not trying to use super chats as a vehicle for, self-promotion, because I've seen people do that before. Like they try to come in and give like $5 so that Pro will read the name of their book. And I always hate that. So good on you. And hopefully I'll get to read something you've written one day.
It's the ones that are $2 that ask if we'll come on their show. That puts us in an awkward position because it's like, well, we have a process for that. And we don't know who you are. We don't know your show. Because like if it's somebody that we've seen before, we have no problem answering that question. But when somebody pops in, it's happened once or twice where somebody we don't know pops in and asks us if we'll go on their podcast or their show on a super chat. It's like, that's a tough question because we don't know you. What is this exactly that we're agreeing to? Joppy, we can say though for sure that we are agreeing. We appreciate you and we can't wait to have you on the panel down the road. As we've discussed in the past, I know it is difficult for you But every time you come aboard Joppy, we feel like we are drinking from the fire hose.
Oh, Joe Miller, you just found the marble in the oatmeal. You're a lucky, lucky, lucky little boy, because you know why? You get to drink from the fire hose! Okay, you ready? Yeah! Open wide!
And Ciani Reese for $4.99. Marv, what is your story structure? I'm currently working on a novel series called Blood and Shadows.
Awesome. Fantastic. I enjoy like I said, Mythic Heroes Journey. That's kind of my favorite. But good luck with your novel.
See, when you say story structure, I think format.
See, I like stories.
So I'm urban fantasy is really what I'm all about. It's urban fantasy. So
there are a few stories that start at the end and go work their way to the beginning. I don't recommend that.
That's what I think of. I don't write like Tenet. So
I'm also a really big fan of thematic arc structure. Like I really like things like truth versus false doctrine and like unraveling that kind of stuff. So there's a whole, I could talk about this for hours. Dani, we need to actually do like a writer's stream like you and
we
Kara
really
and just,
should.
We
really should. I mean, we have a film one coming up. So
Lodio Lozano for 2 Pro sent mail earlier about the M&G press tour. Well, thank you, Mandalorian Grogu. I will definitely read that in just a few as soon as we finish up the show today. Dogepal for 2 practical effects will not help the sequel trilogy.
I don't know if Jesus could help the sequel trilogy.
Yeah, I think the sequel trilogy is pretty much over now. It's done for. Aurora's back again for 5. Aurora, it's so good to see you. I see you in the chat all the time, but not here on the super chats. That's not an expectation, but just letting you know, we do appreciate you, and we do miss the stories you used to send. Aurora for 5, I sent you an email with an AI-made song. It has an episode 7 vibe, so I set it to Force Awakens footage. I hope you'll watch it. Email me your opinion. Absolutely. Folks, just please do know that we get a lot of emails, so if it takes a couple days for me to respond to you, we sometimes, on a heavy day, we can get 200 emails, and we try to go through those as best we can, but it's a lot. We get lucky some days. Some days it's down around 30, 40 emails, and I shouldn't say it that way. We appreciate every single email. It's just, if Pro takes a day off from reading the emails, you don't want to know what it feels like to come back on Monday and say, oh my God. Well, you got Spring Bear, a.k.a. the Cherokee, for 2. It says, remember when Colbert said Trump was Putin's? Yeah, we remember that. Do you remember when Colbert was announced that he would not be coming back for another season? Yeah, we remember that. And one final super chat from Dogepal for 2. Dani's missing out on Kitchen Nightmares. Must see.
What is happening?
Is it because I'm not in the kitchen? I was literally in the kitchen right before I came on the stream. I made my family dinner. Does that make you happy?
You should graduate to Hotel Hell. I think that's a better show.
Danny, did you know that Gordon Ramsay sometimes will correct people in the way that they're holding knives and walking in the kitchen? I mean, listen, you got to see this show. It's amazing. It's incredible.
I guess so.
How many episodes, Marv? How many episodes of Kitchen Nightmares you think?
A bajillion. Like there's so many, and they're like all free on YouTube. So
here's what we need to do. We need to get AI to investigate how many of those restaurants closed down as soon as he left town.
I always look it up. I look it up immediately. Like when the episode starts, I look it up.
Yeah.
I was actually just watching an episode of Hotel Hell yesterday. So
hang on.
I'm actually a huge Gordon Ramsay fan.
I'm going to ask Rock, how many, or let's see, what percentage of the Kitchen Nightmares or Kitchen Nightmare restaurants are closed today? All right, let's see what it says. Many featured. Oh my gosh.
Like all of them?
It's worse than I thought. An estimated 80%. 80% of the rest.
Yeah, almost like these deeply these deeply flawed businesses don't get fixed in a weekend because a British man comes in and yells at you and does a slight remodel on your main dining room.
You're kidding. I would have thought it was like, Harry Potter. He comes in with a wand and screams a little bit.
He just comes in. He's like, make better effing food. And then they're like, all fixed.
You shouldn't be using the canned stuff. Marv, the thing about it too is, can you imagine now if he did a sequel where he starts it back up again and he comes in and says, Listen, I have a 20% success rate. You really need to listen to me.
Yes. I think it's just everything. He sits down to eat and he's like, oh, that's dreadful. That's dreadful. Come here, darling. Is that made fresh? No. It's dreadful.
Wellington. Get back to the beef Wellington.
I've made beef Wellington before. It's very good.
Joppy for 200 crowns. Did you get it at Epcot?
I did actually get some at Epcot. It was good.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. Joppy for 200 crowns. Joppy, you're so kind again. You are really, Joppy, you keep the hamsters running on the wheel. Joppy says, Marv, I think we share similar preferences. I prefer explorative fantasy hero journeys with an outsider protagonist sharing the journey of exploration with the readers.
I like that.
I find power systems the hardest hurdle to design, though.
Well, yeah, because you have to worry about power creep. You have to make sure that your magic system it works. Pro has seen me give speeches to rooms about this kind of stuff.
Full capacity, large rooms, absolutely.
300 people at one time. Yeah,
that's right.
So Go ahead, Danny. What were you saying?
I was gonna say I just put a vlog up on my Patreon. That's where I do all my behind the scenes stuff for the there she is. There's my twin.
It's like she knows we're talking about writing and just materializes.
Well, my Patreon's where I do all the behind the scenes stuff for my comic book, and every Friday I do a vlog. And this past Friday I talked about rules and consequences of magic in my universe, but also why that is important and why why it's vital. Why, if you don't have it, it's just boring and it will fall apart.
The magic system has to be something that requires effort and skill, and it also has to be something that has a price to it. That there has to be a blowback. There has to be something that can take something out of you. Otherwise, it's just you just are working on God mode.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, folks, we have come to the end yet again. Another live stream of excellence is in the can. Marv, tell the folks out there what's coming up on the M4 Empire real soon.
We got a new video just out tonight. It literally dropped as we were starting Culture Crossfire, so I've been live streaming ever since it was dropped, but it is on the Star Wars situation that's currently going on. Please check it out. I got another video coming later this week about Star Wars as well, and I'm trying to get out a video about Animal Farm. We'll see if I'm able to actually get that out. But yeah, make sure you check out thatparkplace.com, geeksandgamers.com for all of your news needs. And of course, I'm game streaming typically every week on that Game Place now. Not going to be streaming tonight. I need to get to bed early. I'm not feeling the best today, and we ran late. So I definitely have to get to bed so I can get up early to start reporting the news.
There you go. 5 a.m. is a very short turnover. Dani, one more time for the folks out there who do not know, tell them what you got over here with Veiled Legacy.
So Veiled Legacy is my upcoming graphic novel, my comic series. We're looking at a 10-book arc for this first series. There's probably going to be 3 and a prequel novel. This first one is book 1 called Midwest Gothic, and it focuses on a rural Midwestern family's act of kindness turns into a supernatural home invasion, leaving Emma Hogan to survive the night alone while her twin brother Jimmy has to race against the clock to save his family from forces unknown before they are lost forever. I guarantee you the story is not what you think it is. It has vampires and so much more. And like I said earlier, I really, really love sneaking in a lot of foreshadowing and Easter eggs. So I guarantee you this is an exciting read, a page turner, and worth you backing and pre-ordering right now, because if you do, you get your name in the back of it, you get all kinds of fun perks, and if you get the top tier for $50, you get a custom autographed personalized book just for you.
That's what I got.
Go check it out today, folks. It is going to be one heck of a entertainment opportunity for you. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to show you another entertainment opportunity. If you are a member of the channel, you have access to this already. It is the latest update for Zax, the new game we're releasing this summer in full. And reminder to folks out there, go ahead and turn the audio off. Reminder to folks out there, we'll be releasing this in the summer. And when we release it, if you're a member of the channel or the M4 Empire or that Pod Place or that Park Place, so many of our sister channels out there, you're going to get access to special stuff, special perks with the full release game. So it's not going to stop. You're getting cool stuff. Beta 0.0.4 is out today. We've just released a new adventure course. Holiday Heroes is out there. We are almost to the end of this, and then it's polish time for the game. We've also added daily challenges if you would like to check that out and enjoy. Folks, this is a game that will be available on just about every system possible, and we'll have a huge release coming out soon at one of the conventions. Hang tight. More news on the way, but go over and play it if you're a member of the channel, and enjoy. We'll be having a good time bringing that your way. All right. Lauren is over on Lauren Apollo on Tuesdays and Friday nights on That Pod Place at 11 p.m. Eastern. Make sure you check out Lauren and Apollo. And Andy Masterson is over on Overlord DVD, Doomcock's channel. Andy, what are you guys covering these days?
We'll be going over, the usual news everyone's talking about, or not talking about. And we'll be doing a Top Gun retrospective.
There you go. We've got Joppy out there for 200 crowns. Oh, and I'm going to stop writing. The vision problem is going to prevent the flow and considerations entirely, which makes it pointless even if I try to get other help. I earn a passive income anyway, but I still hate it. Joppy, I would recommend, I don't want to sell you any kind of snake oil. I don't want to give you any kind of false hope, okay? There is a Harvard professor who is currently running a test, first human trials involving glaucoma, but they say that it's going to be used for far more when it comes to eyes. His name, what is his name? What is the Harvard professor? Folks, you may be able to help me out on this one. You may know who I'm talking about. It'll come to me later. There's a Harvard professor though who's doing a test when it comes to rejuvenating the eye in ways that go beyond glaucoma. And anyway, I think there are medical breakthroughs that might be coming out in the next few years, 5 years, 10 years. So please don't give up hope and continue to hold your head up high. Okay. I don't want you to become complacent.
Is it natural glaucoma? I'm trying to look it up for you. Is it? That's not it. Dr. Wong? No, David Sinclair. Dr. David Sinclair.
David Sinclair. So, Joppy, thank you, Dani. Look up Dr. David Sinclair and what he's doing with his studies with Harvard. He has massive backing on all this, and if this works, they're going to make this available for far more of the diseases of the eye and beyond. So check it out. I think you'll enjoy. And you can also listen to David Sinclair, Dr. David Sinclair, on one of my favorite podcasts that I listen to that's not related to entertainment, Moonshots with Peter Diamandis. All right, folks, that's it for us. We got to get out of here. Thank you for another great show. Thank you for being the supporters that we need. And Siani Reese finishes it up for $4.99. I like urban fantasy mixed with mystery, adventure, and romance.
Awesome. Oh, by the way, when I said before about people like saying the name of their book, I was not talking about Siani Reese there, guys.
Siani's wonderful.
I was talking. Siani Reese is writing a book and talk about it as much as possible. I was talking about one day somebody came in, dropped like a $1.99 super chat, and had Pro basically do an ad read for their book that was already out.
By the way, while I came back to the show, we failed the level. We lost. The daily challenge.
I was frustrated just watching those blocks pile up. So
and let me tell you, the next update that we have, it's going to be we got a lot of work to do for the next update, because the next update is going to be adding mobile support so that you can play this on phones and tablets. But that requires a ton of coding, programming, etc. That's going to be the next big update. So get ready, folks. Go play it today. We need our beta testers. Your gaming is helping us understand difficulty levels and all that kind of stuff. Go play Zax XAX on thatparkplace.com. You can check out the information for it when you go to the member sections of the channels to see how to gain access. All right, folks, that's it. It's a wrap. We'll see you real soon. Take care. And wherever you are on this great, big, beautiful web, keep it for Rizzle and stay on that May 4th sizzle. May the 4th and the Force be with you.
The mainstream media just can't understand how it is we continue to do what we do. They don't realize that we are powered by you, and you are
1.21 gigawatts! 1.21 gigawatts!
Folks, we've still got decades and decades left in the can. It drives the mainstream mad.
Would it make you feel any better if you knew that what we're asking Matt here to do is a holy thing?
You see, we're on a mission from God. We're on a mission from God.
Now you're gonna put me right back in the joint.
They're not gonna catch us. We're on a mission from God.
So, folks, as we always say as we end each and every show here, and we mean it, keep learning, keep growing, and as always, keep having fun.
Every time they hit him, he stood back up again. So they hit him harder. Still, he got back to his feet. Standing man.